sort of Hexican?
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the Worst Damn Crypto Show, period. I'm your host, Romanian Dan. I got with me Hexter Morgan, Narda One for the Win, The Famous, and Wendy's for Tendies. What's up, fellas?
What is up?
Ladies?
What's up with our new guest?
What's up, guys?
We're so excited to have people here. This is so cool.
Yeah, great intro.
We're getting more and more legends coming in every week.
Love it.
It's getting awesome. It's getting sweet. How are all my wreck pleb sons of bitches doing out there? Okay.
Stay wrecked.
Stay wrecked. Yeah, did you see some of those the Bitcoin tweets from what's his name?
From
Yeah.
who?
Oh,
Who's
I
that?
can't remember. The big guy, the big blonde headed guy. Who was yesterday? He's like Bitcoin's about to pop, and everything just took a crap.
Big
today.
blonde headed guy. Oh, are you talking about like YouTuber?
Yeah, he's a Twitter guy. I can't remember what his name is
The
though.
Twitter guy?
I thought I saw him in London. Wasn't he in London? There was some influencer there.
Does he have
What's
glasses?
Not the glasses.
There's a
can't
Bitcoin
remember.
influencer in London? I don't remember.
Yeah, with
I
the German
remember some-
accent.
Does he have
Maybe.
freckles?
Maybe it's the German guy. Is it the German guy?
Is it?
Oh, there he is.
And he's like, "Hey, everybody, the day for the Bitcoin price." He's just like that every beginning every show. I think
Yeah.
that's Crypto or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But he's in like
Yeah,
Dubai.
that's Crypto. But Crypto, he wasn't in London when we were in London, or you mean?
Yeah, he's in Dubai though. I think no.
I can't.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
the
he
only
is in
blonde
Dubai.
guy I'm thinking about. Because then
that's
The
what I
guy
was
with
thinking
the
about,
truck?
too. That's why I said YouTuber.
Right.
Maybe he's just a Twitter guy. Tap, what's going on, baby?
What's happening, y'all?
Up.
Can y'all hear me?
What's good, champ?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, let's go around the room here. What everybody think of the? Did everybody here get a chance to watch the stream yesterday? Richard's stream.
Yep.
Who said no? Wendy's didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't get to, but I had somebody send me the clips.
Yeah. Well, how many clips did you see?
I mean, I think like the ones that he clipped were like the price, like not the price, when he was talking about PulseChain launching, the hashtag 4 more weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, yeah. That's what it. Like, Nardo, did you get to see it? Did you watch it at all?
Yeah, I watched it. But, my problem is I take in so much information. It's just in and out.
Well, I guess all the information
man.
people were excited about was the. It sounds like after the sack totals are all done correctly, he thinks it could be 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks is what he said. He said he could probably do it 2 to 4 weeks after these.
Yeah, but he also said they were struggling with it, so who knows how long it's going to take to do the sack totals. Period.
I remember this for HEX when it came out in December.
What's that?
I remember the same scenario for HEX, and then it came out in December.
Yeah, I wasn't there day one for Hex.
I'm
Yeah,
still
was it-
waiting on.
he's been
it
under
was
promising.
July.
So
It's the same.
what's the
meme,
proper word though? He's been telling us he's gonna do something, but then he always comes out with this, right? So
Yeah, it's under promise, over deliver.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, now they
Trade
got
secret.
they got to be working on that wallet too, right? I think he sounds pretty intent on starting that wallet.
But that's
Yeah,
gonna
but
be after being
They're still interviewing for that.
Oh,
I
he's
don't
just
think
he's
that's a
hiring
priority
people
for
to do
the main launch. Like I would be
Yeah,
happy
Dev-
with
Dev
just
Kyle's
changing
doing
the
the
door
interviews.
fast.
it. Well, I'd love to get Wendy's your thoughts and Nardo your thoughts on anything PulseChain, or if you guys have experienced with the test net. I know I've had a bunch of onboards. I had a guy just here now actually walking him through how to do some stuff, and for people that aren't really into crypto, that are kind of new coiners, they're liking it a lot because they've been on some of the other dexes with Pancake Swap and Sushi Swap.
Mhm.
To me, they always say like, "Oh, it seems kind of childish," It's just it could kind of seem, what it's like colorful and
Yeah.
over the top and fucking rabbits
Right.
and stuff floating around. And PulseX feels really good to me. Like
Yeah,
PulseX
it's solid.
feels
It
like
looks professional.
yeah, What do you guys think? You just want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's he's a master of game theory. He takes something, he's constantly learning, right? He saw what worked for Bitcoin. He gave Hex lower inflation than when it did the 6 million X. So like he made basically a better Bitcoin. He saw Ethereum. He at first didn't like Ethereum, which is when I like had a problem with him. But he eventually came around. He came around. And then, of course, they started, raising the gas costs on us and everything. And, when Ethereum was 1 cent, I loved Ethereum. I mean, like,
Right.
I had like a lot of loyal. I know Nardo did too. It was great when it was like you could do stuff for a penny. So he saw Ethereum, and then he approved on that with PulseChain, right? And then he saw PancakeSwap, and then he approved on that. So it's great, and I think it's going to do really, really well. I think both are going to do really, really well. Which one will do better? Who knows? I mean, PulseX has better game theory, but that doesn't mean it's going to do better, right? Like you see coins with no game theory and lots of hype, do well, and other things like amount of holders to the holders that need still need to get in. Those things can influence price, but the whole ecosystem's going to do well. So it's hard not to be long-term bullish on this stuff.
Yeah, I think one of the things I like best at the moment is just how cool the interface is with PulseX.com. I was never a liquidity guy. I was never a lot of things, but checking out Uniswap's version of how to do the liquidity providing and how to do the farms on other sites, having it all in one house, just a couple of buttons to click. It's not like it's 10 buttons on there and you can really mess yourself up. It's so dry, man. I believe this is that tool that could break that next way. Then people will not liquidate their entire position. They learn how to be a leaky faucet.
Yeah, I agree, man. Especially with the like you were saying, how it's simplified. Like other DEXs still have the routing, right? Where you go, okay, I want to provide this liquidity, and they'll link you to the pool of the pair. But this one just seems like it's cleaner. I love the darkness of it. I love the dark, like the black with the green and the little hints of red. And it's like, hey, what do you want to do? This is decentralized finance. You want to swap? Do you want to trade? You want to provide liquidity? You want to go to farms? Those are your options, right? And like you said, it's going to make it easier for people to not screw up. I love on the staking side of things for delegating to validators, how the color coordination of the what the hell are they called again? The misdemeanors. When you go back, I don't know how much delegating I'm going to do, but just a lot of it just seems it's like plug and play, ready to go. People are going to be able to get in right away and start going. I can't wait. I'm so excited for this stuff to come out.
Yeah, there's a lot of new buttons to click.
There is. What are you guys? What about you, Tap? How are you feeling? Sorry, I cut somebody off there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling great about it. I've been having a lot of fun playing the liquidity in the farm. I've never been no liquidity provider. I've never had a position to be a liquidity provider, but we sacrificed. Some of us have a decent amount of coins that was a lot more than I ever thought could possibly be. So I actually have options now. If I want to throw a couple percentage into a liquidity that I like, I can throw it in there. I see the little fees that's been accumulated over time through the incentive coin and everything. And lately, I don't know if y'all seen the past couple of days, now the APR is like in the 300%, like 900% for some stuff. And I just want to say for all the new coiners, anyone who's a small bag, but you still have like some nice PulseX, some nice posts, take your time still. Like, don't FOMO into everything. Really play around this test net. Like, make all the wrong decisions now. Make all the wrong clicks now. So just get it out of your system.
You're having audio issues there again, Tap.
Uh-oh.
Just on your end. You've had it for the last couple of weeks. Something with I don't know if it's your laptop or Marianne just said in the comments. Well, you famous? How are you feeling about this whole thing?
I'm chilling, man. I just understand that when you're at the beginning of something, it's gonna get adoption. Just you got to wait and see. It's the extras that come from the beginning, right? It's like, you know, one thing that you don't see on normal things is like the button to the validating, like straight from the decks. Like you don't have that on Uniswap. You don't have that on Pancake Swap. You don't have that on Phantom. You got to go always in the Explorer, the Block Explorer, and then it shows you like you have to be at the bottom, and then, you know, it's not something that the community is aware of, right? So if it's actually there and it's gonna, maybe it's just there for PulseNet reasons, but if it's actually there, that shows you how they work together, right? And it's like, I can't wait for the voting. That's another thing, right? There's so many stupid things. I was trying to put something in, you know, to joke around, but I was like, you know what? After his comment about us using it for so much stupidity instead of making it useful, I was like, okay, I'm not going to put anything in there. But I can't wait for the voting. I just, you know, I can't wait for us to just switch from this mentality where we're like trying to compare everything that we're offering to people as to more of like focusing on it's there. Now you could use it. It's like not comparing. It's like we're there. We're at this point now. Because now it's like, and I say this always in the spaces, it's like, well, cool, you're getting an airdrop. It's not working. People don't take it in properly. But I can't wait for us to say, hey, you have your airdrop. It's there. You don't want it? Okay, well, in 2 years, come see us. That's what I can't wait to do, more because of our onboard, right? So the onboarding now, it's like quiet. Everyone knows what they have to do. Everyone's like waiting for the ratio information. So like what's going to happen when it goes live. But for now, it's just, you know, I'm excited. I'm, you know, stacking out my bag, getting more stakes, you know, preparing for summer. Got to prepare for summer. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm very excited, man.
People are testing the hell out of this thing too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was
like,
more focused on the beginning. I wanted to know more about the beginning of what would happen as soon as it went live. Like, how do we react when everyone just comes in and dumps everything? How do we react when people realize that they could do this? Now it's just like everyone knows what's happening. It's just flowing, and it's like not real, right? It's not people's real money. People are just throwing shit, changing shit. Like, it doesn't reflect actual demand, right? But it's cool to see how the numbers at the beginning reacted, right? It's cool to see how at the beginning, if you would have done this,
I don't look into anything with what the prices are doing or any of that. I just think it's interesting to see how many people are actually testing the bridges and testing the staking functions and testing providing liquidity and farming and all that. I think that's
well. If you just look at the last 24 hours, it's like almost 600 million PulseXs burned. You know, and it's going to be more. It's going to be more. I think it's like around 15 to 17 billion total, something like that. You know, since it started. So I mean, there's just going to be more transactions and stuff on mainnet. You know, like there's plenty of people that aren't transacting right now that will be transacting daily.
Yeah, because they can't right now.
Mainnet goes live. Right, exactly.
Well, there's also not all the money's there too, right? So like some people aren't aware that, like, you know, at the beginning when they had 2 Pulse X's and there was a glitch and like they didn't have all their copies. Some people don't want to use their wallets, so they're just starting fresh with whatever they could have acquired. So, you know, like I said, this doesn't reflect the demand, but at the same time, too, people are just it's not real money, right? So they're scared. I was just looking at the ratios. When I look at price, I'm talking ratios. I like to see what happened at the beginning when stuff wasn't getting bridged in, and then people were getting videos of like how to bridge in their test ETH. So then, okay, let's see what happens now that the ETH came in, and then you see it every day. What happens? You see the liquidity pots, but it's not about the pricing, but more about what happens when stuff reduces itself or when stuff gets added, or like now the PRT token, like what's happening with the PRT token, the fact that you can't stake it and you can't dump it, right? Or you can't take it, sell it, and re-put it back in. What's happening with it? That's what you should look at. But I'm just really happy that testnet is just so fluid. It's just so clean. It's just so
smooth, man.
Everything works. What I don't know.
Well, Dan, I want you to ask your strategy to Nardo and Tendies, because I want to hear what they have to say for your.
I don't have a. I mean, I'm not gonna sell my PulseX anymore or swap it for PulseChain early on.
You're not going
to?
No. Maybe 1-to-1, but it's not gonna be that, so I'm not even gonna do it. Just gonna hold on to my PulseX and just DCA into PulseChain only.
Am I crazy, or did I hear somewhere that they might be more fair to people that are trying to swap pre-bridge when it comes to the ratios?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't hear anything about that.
I didn't hear that. No.
Okay, that's
probably if he did say that, it's probably just because the ratio is going to maybe start like 1-to-1. So if you if you were like valuing them at the dollar amount that was put in, you know, it would be like you know, maybe unfavorable. It wouldn't be 1-to-1. So maybe it starts 1-to-1 and you just, you know, says, all right, well, you got 2 days to trade the ratio and see what it does.
What would your advice for that be, Wendy's, for someone who didn't get into Pulse, but well, you see it from the addresses, right? The amount sacked for Pulse versus Pulse X. What do you think for that?
I mean, I think that Pulse is probably going to run first, and but I think if you're trading ratios, I mean, if you're trading period and you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to get wrecked, right? So if you got like a great price for Pulse X and then you're trying to get Pulse, like imagine trading your, you know, it's like trading front row seats, right, at a concert for like nosebleed seats, you know, if you don't know what you're doing. So
yeah,
I would say, you know, most people got to be pretty careful with what they're doing, because, you know, anytime you provide liquidity, anytime you trade a ratio, you're making a bet. And especially ratio trade, like you might not know the dollar bet, you know, and people think in terms of dollars a lot. So if you don't know that number, how can you say, you know, it was a good trade? So, I mean, I wouldn't do it if I was them. Like, do I have a plan? Yeah. Am I going to talk about it? No. But, yeah.
What do you think, Nardo?
I'm the averager, so you know, similar, being late buying Ethereum at $3. I watched all this stuff go by over years. So if I was a new guy or giving advice to a new guy, whatever your bag is, break it up into 5 different pieces, and every 2 years sell that one bit of a piece. And hopefully in between time, be a cool dude so you can get some friends. So if it ever is worth a good amount of money, you might have a future doing something else, you know, something good.
Yeah.
Be chilling like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait.
That first 24 hours, though, I think people are just going to be glued to, like, someone's going to be streaming it, I guess, probably 24 hours, probably Maddie or something, just watching charts, see what's happening.
I mean, that's watching the charts is good and all, but just know emotional decisions shouldn't be made like that with finances.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't mean it like watching charts to trade. I just meant watching the fireworks to see.
Right.
Done before, just to see what happens. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's definitely
man,
gonna
everybody's gonna be watching. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I keep telling myself I'm going to go do something during the day and I'm not going to watch it, but I know I'm going to, you know, occasionally check in to see what's going on.
It's history. How can you not want to watch it, man? It's literally like, if this is forever, it's history. It's like you're going to be able to say, I saw that. Like, you know, people either got wrecked or fuck, did I get wrecked? I didn't trade because it was so good, you know? The way I see it is,
watch the exciting stuff.
Yeah, always. And it's not only that, but it's history too. It's like, what do you guys think it's going to be? 2 days, a couple hours, a week?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I remember watching Bitcoin go over 10,000. You know, there was so many people watching that. That was crazy. The first time that happened. Yeah.
I think, was it 9,000, right?
Yeah, it was like, yeah. It's like, right. Yeah.
It went to 7, right? It went to 7 and then we're like, yo, man, it's going. And I think everyone in the community was like at the time in crypto, when you were looking at it, it was like, oh, 7. Oh my God, it's right. 10. Is it possible? And then it goes. I think it passed 10 and it went to like 12, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I have to go check.
That's how it always does it. Like if it breaks that number, it's gonna slingshot because people are shorting, you know, at that number. So it'll like rocket past it or whatever. But yeah, I remember that. Probably got a screenshot.
The craziest was the 20 to 3, man. Was like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it went from 20 to $3.
Well, no, it went from
that was a great time.
20,000 to like what, 3, 4? So people were just looking at it like
dips are in the game.
People are like, oh, we're out of here. I'm like, nah, man, you're gonna see this is normal.
They are, but I just can't wait. Like, what does Pulse look like a couple months after launch? You know, because
I mean, it really depends, but it really depends. But I think regardless, it'll be good. I mean, I think like, you know, like macro can have a big deal with it. Like what is going on? You know, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. You know, Fed's going to raise rates all year long. You know, regular, like all of crypto, including HEX, does not look good right now. It's just, it looks like it's, you know, impending doom. So,
Correct.
Yeah, it
so
dropped
what's
under
going to happen
40.
with PulseChain? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
It's under 40
and
now. ETH under 3,000.
yeah, yeah, and I've
Yeah,
been
everything's
saying
down
this
double
for a
digits.
while that I think we gotta wash people out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that if depending on when PulseChain's launched, if it's launched at like towards the middle to the end of it, within 6 months of a bottom, macro wise, then it would probably be like the most bullish thing possible. If it was like, let's say, like the bearish scenario where before we have like a very big drop, it launches. Maybe we launch 10x higher, price dips to ICO price, something like that. And then that was the bottom. Now, what it does in a year from there, maybe a 20x, who knows? But that's like a bear scenario.
Mhm.
But I would say even in like the bearish scenario, it's doing over a 10x, right? Maybe a 20x. So there's enough of us that want coins that if you have any kind of income, you're going to go for it. So regardless of what's going on. So yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of crap going on. Like, look at that stuff on the last week with the EU, with the wallet,
Yeah, it's
right?
crazy, man.
And it's
crazy
coming to
right now.
Canada now. I posted a couple
I
of
know. I've
weeks ago.
seen that.
Like, man, what the hell is that about? If you guys
Absolutely.
didn't see it, basically, I got an email from
I'm
Coinbase
not
saying,
surprised, though.
"What's that?"
I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not either. It's all because of the stuff with the lockdowns, right? Once they went after the donations coming from Bitcoin.
I
They're
think
like,
for us, it's
"Oh."
even deeper than that, man. I think it's even like the businesses, like the banks going digital, and like so happens to be during the time of going digital, like they're all transitioning from like closing their branches and going more digital with their apps and the whole business model. Like, or I know that for a fact because I work for RBC, but
Mhm.
it just so happens to be that now it's like, oh, well, they're capitalizing. It's like, oh, well, you look at their revenue. It's like if you're in banking, if you're in the banks in Canada right now, you're like making cash because they're all-time highs. They're making all the money in the world that they've ever made. So
Mhm.
like they're laughing. So I'm like,
Yeah, I just meant like for market sentiment, like Wendy's was saying, like if we start going down lower into a deeper bear market, like all this shit that's going on in the world right now is only going to fuel that fire, right? Because people get freaked out,
Yeah.
like, oh, because all my stuff's already on. What do they even call the wallets? Non-custodial wallets? What are we supposed to even call these things? Whatever they are. My
This
MetaMask
is a
wallet,
dorky.
non-hosted wallets or something like that.
yeah.
non-hosted wallets. Yeah,
But I don't
So we-
prescribe to that language, to that made-up language.
Right.
Stupid.
Yeah, but the email is just like, okay, going forward, anytime you want to send something from an exchange, regardless of the wallet, if it's over X amount, we need to know who they are and where they live.
Mhm.
Like that's not right at all. That is not right. And people are going to do it. And then the same thing with crypto.com now. They I know me and Famous were talking about this. If you try and send any type of asset to an external address, you need to wait 24 hours.
If it's not white.
Trash.
It could be the same address. If it's a different asset, same address, 24 hours. I'm like, what is this shit? I've been sending stuff to this asset for years now. Or
Yeah.
sorry, to this address. They go, well, it's policy now. I'm like, why? I'm the only one doing it. From me, I'm KYC with crypto.com. Why the hell do I have to do this? So I think you guys are right. It'll get worse before it gets better. But I also think that's bullish long term for PulseChain because we're so adamant about being in charge of your own finances, right? Being your own bank.
Yep.
It's even more important to get in now when it's like easier than what it could be. You know what I mean? If it's getting worse, then hopefully you got some money in when it was easy. Because when it's hard, you won't be able to put that much. You'll have to be putting $100, $200 at a time. That's like, for some people, it's like, how are you going to onboard someone who wants to put money in? It's like, what do you mean I can only put 200, 500? Well, man, or else you're going to have to write shit down and you're going to have to send this and put this. It'll get to that point. And if it gets to that point, we would have been the people that got the best end of the stick. That's better right now. I'm so bullish about it because it's like you cannot take away the economical power. You cannot. If they're trying to stop us from cashing out, perfect. We're still in it. It's still good. We still could go see somewhere, just like someone in Africa could use cell phone minutes to pay for food. Well, we'll use Bitcoin in the world. It's getting to that point. People said the same thing about the email, and I always say this crypto is here, man. It's been here for 13 years.
Oh, it's not going anywhere. I'm not.
It's
I'm
not
worried
going
about
nowhere.
Going anywhere. It's just the
And we're not
regulation.
going nowhere either, because it's like we're one of the most powerful coins on ETH. It's like, what do you? Okay, yeah, cool. It's like, yeah, it's not going to work what you're doing. Oh, okay. So Sandbox, when they said they were going to do whatever they did, and you said the exact same thing to them when they started very small. But us, we're not starting small. We're starting as the best coin on ETH, the biggest.
Top
Well,
dog.
We are literally, like, you want to talk a spade, you want to call market cap, you just go look. It's there. We're there. We're the biggest. Anyone bigger than us is literally left ETH because they wanted to do their own thing, and we're still here. So
I still think people are going to leave ETH. Like, look at that Dev said the other day about
Absolutely.
the gas fees aren't going to be solved with
Correct.
when they
Yeah.
switch proof of stake.
It was never going to be solved by that. I've been saying that for like
Bingo.
over a year now. You know, like I've explained that like on so many streams that like the merge has nothing to do with with gas prices at all.
Mhm.
It's multiple years away still. Everything that's going to improve gas. I think it will. I think gas will eventually get improved, and honestly, it could even get improved before the next bull market. So I don't think Ethereum's going anywhere. Honestly, I think it's still going to be blue chip, but there's
Oh, I
just
don't
going to
think
be a
so
better
either.
way. There's going to be a better way to onboard people to let them use stuff, and I think that like HEX on the PulseChain is going to do way better,
Yeah.
over the long term.
So we were talking about this actually it's funny, on the Twitter Spaces, where we were talking about like this whole idea, and really the way I see it, okay, ETH is really dominant right now because everything's built on it. There's no chain. Well, one only tried and it almost did at one point. It was like really competing up with, like, saying like, hey, I'm coming after you, was BNB, right? And it's still in there, but we all know it's because of the exchange. But the mainnet was still coming up better than, in my opinion, any other mainnet that tried to copy or fix what ETH is. But for once, imagine this. If we're actually copying it, what if we copy it so well that we don't need ETH no more because the whole system state is copied? If we fixed it, or if we made something or a copy that's better, then if we could take away all, and you could go look at it right now, all the top 100 coins that are ERC20s, well, there are a lot of potential and we have a lot of money that we could take over if we do it properly. I'm not saying it will happen. Hey guys, put all your money in, sell your house. But I'm saying, hey, it's to me, if you were to present me Phantom or AVAX and we look down the threads, okay, our project, well, Richard's project, whatever, Pulse has the potential. It has the potential to, if it does, we do it properly, to slowly say we don't need ETH no more. We don't.
We know, yeah, but we know that, right? Like ETH
Yeah.
still has the name recognition.
It took 10 years for Bitcoin to get into the 5 digits. Let's be honest. So
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think PulseChain is better, but everyone coming from legacy finance who's looking to get yield because you're not getting that on your Bitcoin unless you're lending it out, they're still going to flock to Ethereum because what do they care about gas fees? Right?
Yeah.
If you're talking about just the basic end user, this is where we need to, I think, focus to get all these people in, because like Hex on Pulse is going to be a lot better. Who wants to make a stake and pay $15 to start a stake, and then potentially hundreds of dollars to end a stake?
Yeah, it's terrible.
You can't do it, man. I have onboards right now that'll probably, like, they bought, and some of them bought tops, and some of them stake, oh, do 2 years. Well, I did the math on it. That gas might be worth more than that stake when it
A
comes
little
out.
bit.
And that's not right for anybody. And the other thing with the ETH, like, I guess when it does the merge or whatever they're calling it, you still need the 32 ETH to stake, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
it's
unless you
$1
unless you do like Rocket Pool or something.
Right. So these people that have, let's just call it $100,000 worth of ETH, are the ones who are going to be looking to get yield on it. I don't even know what returns are like that on Ethereum, or what it will be.
It's like right now it's like around 5-6%, I believe, but it's going to go to, I believe, 10 or 20 after the merge. It's going to be like really, really high for a little while.
Wow. I didn't think it'd be that high.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
really
not
high
bad.
from what I've heard. Yeah.
So that's going to drive a lot of people.
I think, I mean, it's hard. If it wasn't for like the macro situation, I would say like ETH's probably going to go over 10,000 after the merge. I mean, essentially like what's happening with their issuance is it's going to be the equivalent of like 3 Bitcoin halvings in one day. So
Yes, that's what I. Okay, yeah, I remember reading.
that's
about
pretty.
that.
That's pretty bullish. I mean, I don't know. You know, if everything's going down, Bitcoin maybe pulls ETH down, but the ratio improves. Like the ratio of ETH to Bitcoin goes up. It's hard to say, but
Oh, it's been doing very well, man. I've been looking at that lately, and it's getting ready, man. It's I've said this before, and people call me crazy when it was like I forget what was the ratio, man, but I was like, yo, ETH is gonna take over. It's going to take over. It's gonna take some time.
I mean,
and
it almost flipped it when it had 8% inflation, right? It came within a 2x of flipping Bitcoin with 8% inflation. It's probably the way it is right now going to be deflationary. You know, is the way it's looking, especially in bullish times. So I don't think.
And there's
Bitcoin's
a
gonna
there's a
compete with
lot
it.
of reasons for people to want that to happen, man. There's 30 something. I think now 40% of fucking ETH locked, man.
Yep, it's true. And I mean, like, if you look at, it's like funny because you got like Michael Saylor and them, you know, buying Bitcoin, Do Kwon's buying Bitcoin. They should be buying ETH. Like, Three Arrows Capital bought like $100 million of ETH the other day. It's like,
It's just
get the one,
no one could get it.
Yeah, and it's like you know, we know this like from HEX, right? It's like it's better to, you know, have the liquidity, the lower liquidity work for you. Like Bitcoin's, look, these guys are buying hundreds of millions of dollars and it does nothing. It literally does nothing for Bitcoin. It's
It's too heavy, man.
It's like
heavy.
someone will say like I think Do Kwon bought another 220 million or something like that like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And like you wouldn't even notice if you were just looking at the chart. You wouldn't even notice at all. So it's like these guys literally have to throw billions of dollars, like multiple billions of dollars, to do anything. But then guess what? Like what happens
Show me
when they
10
try to
mil
get
on
out?
HEX.
You know?
Show me a 10 mil market order on HEX. So watch what that does.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
Yeah,
It's gonna be insane.
Well, that's an
It's gonna
interesting
be-
point that Tenny's made there about people going. I agree with you, man. I think more and more people are going to be going to ETH away from Bitcoin. There's just more functionality there. There's more utility. Like does
More
Bitcoin,
X's, more functionality, more utility, like more everything, you know. And the fact that, you know, they look, say what you will about Ethereum, but like at least they're trying to upgrade in the most decentralized way possible. I mean, they started as full proof of work, right? Like what Bitcoin is, and they're going to full proof of stake. Like people, you know, people don't think about that, but it's a big deal. I mean, you know, to change your consensus network, like while it's still moving, you
keeping
know,
consensus?
and keeping consensus is a pretty big deal. But at least they're doing that, right? Like Bitcoin has no desire to change. So, you know,
No,
I
if
think
they do that, they would kill themselves, though. They would kill themselves.
yeah,
It
but
would be
I
like
mean they're dead either.
$500
They're really dead
transaction.
either way because
Yo,
once they're already saying, bro, they're already like saying, oh, price doesn't matter right now. You know,
Right.
like you can only say that for so long, right?
I
Like,
said
when
that
Ethereum
yesterday.
flips it,
Somebody
yeah.
just came back and gave me shit on Twitter for it. They're like, "Looks like somebody just got off the short bus." I was like, "You have no idea what you're talking about."
Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like
your
your
heroes-
your
your
own
heroes-
people, yeah. Your heroes are chanting that
just
because
came on, and we're talking about that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Price doesn't matter.
yeah.
You don't care about yield?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's irrelevant, mate. Irrelevant. I don't care. Is
Yep.
Johnny Chaos in the chat right now? I thought I just saw him there. Yeah, I think he is. Johnny, say something if you're in chat.
Yeah, that's him.
That's something in
I was
chat.
trying to look up his
What up,
Send
what's
him a
his
link.
TikTok name, Mr. Fabio or something. I was trying to make a
Hex
joke.
Fabio or something like that.
Hex Fabio.
Yeah.
So what does Bitcoin look like going forward then, guys? Because it seems like they're getting more and more maximalist.
Yeah, I mean they have to be. They have to be. So they're even saying that toxic maximalism, they're saying it is a good thing. Like I saw a thread like maybe a week or two ago and it said like, are you a toxic maximalist? And they were all like congratulating themselves about being toxic maximalists. And
It's a
that's what
feature.
Bitcoin has evolved. Yeah, it's a feature. Now look, this happens in all communities and we've seen it enough in our community too. So like I don't want to like, you know, throw stones while we live in a glass house.
Right.
You know, like a lot of Hexicans made fun of Bitcoiners because of how corny they were at conferences. And then those same Hexicans make Hex look corny in a conference, right? So like, we can't be throwing stones while we live in a glass house, you know?
That's true.
It's something that happens as communities get bigger, you know? Let's try not to be cringe, right?
What were you going to say there, Nardo? About the old Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin's
Oh man, it's boom and bust cycles. You know, it's a kind of like high school alumni. Yeah, you have different people coming in different waves, and yeah, the maximalism usually comes out when they're all at losses. So the only thing that binds them together is their shared wreckedness, and it's going to get louder.
Oh, that's funny.
And then
Shared
these people,
plebness.
yeah, they're start deleting their accounts here in about 2 years into the bear market, and you'll see them, 4 years from now, they'll come back like locusts almost.
Yep.
Wow.
That does happen every time.
Bitcoin locusts.
Yeah. Oh no,
Even
I've been
BitBoy
around
did
for a
that.
while.
BitBoy disappeared in 2018.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dude, he started making like
Right.
other videos and stuff like on
He-
TikTok or something. I can't remember.
doing movie reviews and shit.
Yeah.
They just jump on the hype wave where everybody's going.
Oh God.
Yep.
Yeah, man, he was
Imagine
awful.
you come on your show, you're like, well, everything's down 85%. Have you seen
The only thing good about him is that his team actually covers like
Yeah.
the news. Like it's like, okay, if you're all over the place in crypto, well, you just gotta listen to him, and it's like, okay, you're updated. That's all it is. But besides that, it's like he pushes ADA and XRP, ADA and XRP, especially XRP.
You're
It's
talking about
hilarious.
Cardano, yeah. That's
I'm
the other
like,
one.
oh my
Cardano's got like 80% locked up or something. Everybody stakes that thing. Doesn't do anything with it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I don't know
It's kind
nothing
of crazy.
about it.
I don't know, man. There's
no one wants to
honestly
use
not,
it. Everyone wants to hodl it.
Yeah.
Did you
No,
guys see the Bitcoin conference? The Maxis were on stage and they go like, "Hey, who in here holds Ethereum?" And they just wanted
Yeah,
to
everyone-
and everybody raises their hands in the audience.
That's
No,
awesome.
And they're like,
Oh,
"Get
yeah.
out, get out."
Yeah, like so funny. Like they don't even know. But it's really hilarious because like true Bitcoin maxis I never see in the wild, which is funny because I'm like, why don't I see them? I meet all kinds of like highly influential people in blockchain. All retired people. Everywhere I travel to. We were in Portugal. We met tons of people in crypto. I've never met like a Bitcoin maxi because the only people that are like retired are like the OGs, right? Because it's not doing enough X's anymore. Like nobody's retiring from that. So it's just kind of comical, like you basically have to.
And the OGs don't just have Bitcoin, right? Like
Correct.
if they were involved, it didn't make sense. Like it just didn't make sense to like have all those gains and not at least say, well, okay, let's see, because there was mistakes made and there was hatred created due to these mistakes, but they still got in it. Like you cannot. It's very rare someone was in crypto and has been for a long time
and held
doesn't have their Bitcoin. It's who they are, and it's like, oh, when did you get in? 2017. Oh, okay.
Well, it's funny because like
so you lost everything in your hodling.
Was
you
a
lost everything.
Ethereum guy at first. He like made a bunch of money in 2017 on Ethereum, and then Ethereum went down and the ratio got like obliterated. And at the bottom of the ratio, he traded all of his Ethereum to Bitcoin, and now he just sings Bitcoin. But Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin ever since that happened.
Yeah.
So like he literally just made the worst possible trade ever, and now he's like stuck in his lie, and he has to just like pretend like he's a complete Bitcoin maxi, like it's a joke.
Well, look at Crypto Vince, man. That bet with Crypto Vince, right? He had to remind me of 1 year. I'm pretty sure you guys saw it, but he made a bet a year ago that HEX wouldn't be dead or whatever, and it's up 500% versus Bitcoin in that year. Or can't remember what the exact figures are, but every HEXICO went at him. He blocked us all.
Yeah, and then he blocked all of us. Yeah,
didn't even respond.
What a club.
No, seriously though, it's like, dude, at least grow a pair, like stand up for yourself. You made a mistake. People make mistakes, right? There's like we shouldn't be ripping on people's coins either because we're still down 80%, right?
Yeah,
our coin is down 80% from all-time high. That's the way it is. So
it's true, but I
Everybody's
mean,
too
like
perfect.
if they're saying that it's gonna die because like this is what we're finding out, right? Like Hex like everything else goes down a lot, right? But this is the one thing, right? Like a lot of Hexicans said, oh, like this won't happen, like in a bear market we won't go down or whatever. Now we're seeing we are like everything else in that sense. The thing that gets like omitted from the record is that the true hodlers are getting up to 40% APY for an average, and there's people getting still 60 plus 100 plus, so like that's the part that they leave out, right? Because if you hold Chainlink, you're just a wrecked frog on the internet, right? You just got like salty tears. You tried to hang yourself, the rope snapped. It's terrible. Sergi's just dumping on you every week, but regardless of what happens with the hex price, we're still getting paid every day.
Yeah.
Wrong.
That's
Chain
Yes,
Chainlink makes
sir.
me laugh. It's like everyone uses it already. It's done. It's like you're gonna need 10,000 more cryptos to come in for it to go up.
mhm.
People just don't understand that to double. It needs I'm gonna get into that.
Yep.
It's-
People just want what's new, right? They're only going to show what they hold. That's why I tell people when you get worried about somebody shitting on Hex on the internet, it's like, bro, you think that guy holds Hex? Can he hurt the price? Don't worry about it.
Yep.
It's fun
True.
sometimes.
Exactly.
But you ain't shilling shit that you don't hold, right? You're gonna rip against all of it. And Hexicans are real easy to go after, especially with our leader is Richard, right? He's easy to hate, but he's hard to ignore.
You know, and there's a lot. There's you know, the best thing for Hex is going to be PulseChain, because there's a lot
Back up.
of
Sorry, Wendy's, go ahead.
I think you're muted.
You're muted, man.
Muted.
Tendies, you're
you.
muted.
Can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Richard. He got the Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
He
on
got
the
rugged.
phone.
Yeah, Richard's scared of.
Shout out to Hex to win. Or Hex is the way. Sorry. What am I saying? Hex is the way, my D's.
Oh, he doesn't win.
Or his children. I don't know.
Hex
That's
Black and
dead.
Hexatron.
Hex is the way. Is that who's been making these tons of videos of Richard Heart the last couple
Yeah.
weeks? Just-
He
Using
put them
the
out
face
in like
swap?
one day, I feel like. But he got a Bruce Lee one. I pulled that one. Or I just pulled
Oh
it.
my god!
Yeah. Put some respect on my name.
Oh, man.
Nardo, did you see my? Did you see the meme I made last week with Jim Rat Crypto? I don't know if you've ever seen the show. What the hell show was it? Big Bang Theory. You ever see that show?
I have seen the
No.
show. I don't
See if you
remember
can
it.
find it. You got to see this picture, man. I've always thought about it before I did it, and then once I started talking to him more on Twitter, I was like, okay,
Oh yeah, I
he'll be
remember
okay-
he did
he'll
it.
be okay with
This
this
is like-
meme.
Please pull it up. This is too
Yeah.
I
funny.
gotta find. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Check this out. This is a good one.
Oh, hello.
Oh!
All right.
Hey!
Party.
I got a phone
Hello,
call.
sir.
So, hello, you guys hear me now?
Johnny, what's going on?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
What's smoking?
I gotta learn not to let you guys know when I'm stalking because you call me out.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man. I love it. Good to see you.
Good to
Yeah.
see everybody.
How are you doing, man? What's up?
Doing all right. Watching people get liquidated, counting my coins. You know, just waiting for the rest of the world to catch on to what we already know.
Amen.
Exactly.
Sorry, Wendy's, you got cut off there, bud. Where were you?
Yeah.
at?
So what I was saying is that like the most bullish thing for Hex is, look, we had 2 sacrifice phases. A lot of Hex has been destroyed. Okay. We might be in a bear market, but that means lower prices, are sending more coins distributed to hodlers, right? People buying now to stake out 5, 10, 15 years for their future, right? So some of the people who, succeeded the most, if they're selling their coins here, then they're giving everybody else an opportunity. But the most bullish thing to me is that there's a lot of people that I've met that they might not get hexed for whatever reason, but they get PulseChain, they get PulseX, and they're going to be in that ecosystem. And we know that rising tides lift all ships, especially when liquidity is involved, which is, Heart's law.
Mhm.
So, we got celebrities coming in. I mean, there's so many things that are coming in the pipeline that I've just found out, like on the back end, like it's just big billionaires, that I've talked to that are getting in. And I mean, I was having a conversation with Motley like yesterday. We were just like, man, if everybody knew like what all's going on, who all's getting in, all this stuff that's being built, like everything, you would just be so damn bullish. Like you'd be working 2 or 3 jobs to get, scrounge some, change to buy Pulse and PulseX, when they launch, because it's going to be big. Like there's influencers in that traditionally never talked about Hex, and if they did, they called it a scam, right? Well, they're going to be singing the praises of PulseChain and PulseX, right? Because they're not going to miss a second Richard Heart 10,000X. I can promise you that. So they're gonna pump their own bags, which in turn is going to pump Hex, right? You're going to have people take profits into Hex. Like it's probably going to be one of the highest liquidity pairs. So yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, It sucks to wait. I see people, you know, anybody who's in Hex day one. We waited a long time for Hex. Okay, we waited a long time. I mean, Jesus, look at how long ADA holders waited for smart contracts, and they were very patient. They were way more patient than, you know, PulseChains that have been waiting less than a year. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Where's that Ethereum charting?
Exactly. Like, you know, Richard Heart's going to deliver, and you know, he may take his time, but that's software, and it's going to be done right. Okay, so I think it's worth waiting for.
You mean E2.0 isn't going to reduce gas fees?
No, actually, in actuality, it's probably going to raise gas fees because, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of people like FOMOing in. The price is going up. It's probably going to raise gas fees, honestly. Hey, that's a perfect time for us to launch. And this is a huge thing, right? The major narrative right now is inflation, right? So like normal people are scared of inflation. There's literally articles out, right, from like major news networks talking about like, hey, you're probably going to have to buy rice and beans. Okay, like that's what they're saying. So they're freaking, you know, the news always likes to go on like, you know, scare tactic marches, you know, when it comes to you know, media and stuff like that. So the scare word right now is inflation, right? And they're freaking everybody out with inflation. Well, what's the opposite of inflation? Deflation. So when you're talking to people and when you're onboarding people, they're going to get deflation. They're going to say inflation bad, deflation good. And so I think it's going to be just a really genius way to onboard people. Honestly, low fees.
So much easier than we think it's going to be. I think
I agree.
So much easier than we think it's going to be. I think people are kind of racking their brains on how are we going to get people to do this? Well, there are 10 million Ethereum users. 10 million Ethereum users. How many of those 10 million Ethereum users are tired of paying outrageous gas fees?
10 million.
Price doesn't
there you
matter,
go.
man.
So, I mean, really, it's the only problem we have. The only problem we have is the information, the misinformation, and the lack of information, the repression of information. Those are the problems that we have. When people find out, you know, and they get over this Stockholm syndrome where loss is normal, and we just got to pay our dues, and you know, whatever garbage that, you know, the space is kind of forced down the throat. Well, it's just how it is. You got to overpay. That's how it's supposed to be. You want to use our network, you need to overpay. Bullshit. The banks charge less. How are you going to compete with the banks? The banks don't charge me $30 every time I get money out of the ATM. If they did, I'd say screw that. You know? And it's just so frustrating because it's like, you know, I had a guy chime in today. He's like, well, 63,000 people participated in the polls. Who's going to buy it? The 10 million other Ethereum users that are tired of overpaying for gas fees so they can use the network because they don't have a choice. Those people, I'm sure they would like an alternative to $100 to $1,000 fees. Sure would be nice, wouldn't it?
Even the influencers that are getting so excited for the merger of ETH, they're not telling their followers what's coming. They're not telling them about
obviously not because they're not telling them because they can't buy it. They haven't bought it yet. Right? So they're like, okay, I'm gonna wait for it to come out. I'm gonna buy it, and then next thing you're gonna know, they're gonna be like, oh guys, you fucking should have get this. You should do this.
Like, okay, here's the merger. But like, as Johnny said, all they gotta do is just switch that setting in your MetaMask, and all your coins are already there. That's what's so beautiful about this strategy. And people are calling it crazy. It's like it's not crazy at all.
No, you're in whether you want to be in or not.
Yeah,
you're in there whether you want to be in or not. If you don't want to use it, that's fine.
People will onboard. People will onboard because that's where the money is, right? Like if there is profitable liquidity farming, and you know, liquidity is like locusts; it's going to go to where it's treated best. Yeah. So if I'm offering you 10%, and then the person next to me is offering you 20% for your money, where are you going to go? Mm-hmm. Are you loyal to the institution? No, you're loyal to who pays you the best. And PulseX and PulseChain are going to pay you the best, so that's where you're going to be. I've done it plenty of times, right? Like I'm going to go where I can get the most bag, right? Like it's just what's going to happen, and it's going to be crazy to watch the TVL just go up every single day. It's going to be nuts.
You know what I like, Wendy's? But what I think is the coolest is there's an ultimatum, basically of list the PRC20 tokens, or we are going to have a monopoly on PRC20 tokens.
That's true.
Which means everybody who has PRC20 tokens, if the other exchanges do not list them, have no choice but to utilize PulseX. And if they utilize PulseX with minimum fees, fast transactions, and they have a good experience over there, what are the odds that they're going to go back to other things that charge them ridiculous fees and have slower transactions?
Yep, I agree, and I think that even if they weren't speculating on the PulseX token, they're going to see the rise of it. They're going to learn the token economics, and they're going to be like, "My God, I love the exchange."
How could you not?
You know,
You can't,
like, yeah, you're going to get some. You know,
it's like
you're gonna be
literally
this is great.
building the shopping mall that has everything, and then certain stores refusing to sell those products. So what happens is those mom and pop stores go out of business, and everybody moves over to the superstore.
Right.
And literally what that's going to do is PulseX could have more volume than any other exchange out there because of the low fees, the direct interaction from your wallet, and the fact that, the only place they can go to trade their PRC20 tokens are PulseX. So I'm a little torn. I don't know if I want other exchanges to list the PRC20 tokens or not, because if they do, that's more exposure. But if they don't, we're the only place that's got them, and that's going to force people to use that exchange.
Show of hands. Who wants them on exchanges? Anybody here want them there? Like,
not yet.
What
I don't want nobody to know about it.
Not yet. not yet. Let's maybe in a bit.
Yeah.
Stack up some more.
Let me ask everybody this then: if we do get Pulse listed on a central exchange, right? Let's just look at the three ones. Pulse.
Well, he's already said it. He already said it's going to happen. So
I know, but he also
said.
But he also said, like, I'll believe when I see it. I think it'll happen.
Well, they're getting it regardless. They're getting it regardless because the way Binance utilizes their wallets, the way KuCoin utilizes their wallets, they're real wallets. So they're getting the tokens whether they like it or not. So they have it. They're going to use it. They always do. And those are some of the biggest, like you look at how they, like, the whole problem where they hold the actual seed phrases. Well, if the people can't get them, they can. That's why we're saying they have it. And Johnny's saying, if you want to flip it on another way, we're kind of cornering the exchanges saying, hey, motherfucker, now what are you supposed to do? Are you gonna give your clients? Are you gonna give your clients the bag and say like, hey, thank you for your loyalty? Or are you gonna say, no, I'm gonna keep this and I'm gonna come into your ecosystem and I'm gonna get my money's worth? So it's like, hey, would you rather the money or would you rather give your users the powers? Because if you cut your users and you cut the hand and you say, hey, nah, they're mine, not yours, then the user's gonna be like, oh my God, Richard's right. So, like, I kind of want the exchanges to keep it.
No, that's it. I think I worded it wrong.
That's what Johnny's saying, and I like what he's saying because it's like, we're cornering you now. Now it's
not even just for keeping it. You're on a different note altogether. You're talking about the exchanges keeping the coins that they get for free because they're also participating whether they like it or not. What I'm talking about is the fact that if the exchanges don't want to list the PRC20s for trading, and people want to trade and people want to provide liquidity, see. The liquidity farming, I don't think people understand how awesome the liquidity farming was before ETH jacked up the fees, because literally they jacked up the fees to squash that. That was fully intentional, right? They were preserving the centralized exchanges. This is very apocalyptical for the centralized exchanges for that liquidity farming and communicating directly from your wallet, no middleman scenario. Is apocalyptic for the exchanges. So they had to do something, right? They had to bog it down because literally there is no use for the centralized exchanges other than onboard ramps.
Mm-hmm.
And, like Frosty in Ecuador now is getting over-the-counter direct purchase. He's going direct purchase. So there's over-the-counter purchase there too. Does he get a website? Is he going to have direct purchase through website? We don't know what's going to happen there. But again, direct onboarding, direct marketing.
Attaboy, Dan.
But I mean, that's the whole thing. Ethereum really squashed that liquidity providing and yield farming. That is actually a great innovation that has been totally overlooked because it was squashed. Because you can't put in $100 worth of liquidity. And then it cost you $200 to pull it out, right? Well, when it only costs you a penny, you can leave it in there for a day and pull it out and still be profitable. So everybody is going to be profitable, and that is going to take away from the centralized exchanges when this happens. And there is not a damn thing they can do to stop PulseX. There's not a damn thing they can do about it, because Pulse is not corruptible. They can pay market value for it, but they're not going to be able to just get in there and take. They're not going to be able to call up Vitalik, oh, we need to do something about this because we're going to lose business and blah, blah, blah. Is there anything we can do to bog this down a little bit? Richard, they call up Richard, hey, can we bog this down? Can we stop this whole decentralization happening? And Richard would be like, no.
Yeah.
He just do his lol when he does his big laugh. Lol. But what I was trying to say there was they'll list Pulse on a centralized exchange. So at that point, why not just list Hex? You think would they do that? Or they have to buy it, wouldn't they?
It doesn't matter.
I think that if they're going to do it, it's going to be after Pulse.
Right.
But it doesn't matter though. Once they list Pulse, we can go directly from Pulse to Hex.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I just mean
because we're no longer we don't even need them to list Hex. And
I get that part. I get that. I'm just wondering. It's just like, okay, it's still a Richard Heart product, right? You guys had such a big problem with Hex for 2.5 years, and now like, oh my God, we tested out PulseChain. Looks amazing. We got a dev working on the node to list it on a centralized exchange, but you're still going to keep Hex away. I'm just wondering why. It just seems funny to me that you're going to list PulseChain and you won't list any of those other products.
Oh, well,
like Richard said, for whatever reason, more people understand Pulse than Hex for whatever reason. So, I mean, yes, Hex was still a thing. Yes, they probably know of Hex, but going by the Telegram chat room and all that, more people understand Pulse than Hex.
Lay people can't understand the way that the compounding staking works and everything. So it just sounds like it's a scam. Remember, inflation bad, right? Deflation good. The reason that people don't associate inflation and Bitcoin is because they've already accepted 21 million coins, because that's the limit, right? So you hear 21 million all the time. There's not 21 million coins, but people say that all the time. So it's like they're already, they're when the market prices stuff in when it's known for a long time, it's basically like that, right? Like Bitcoiners are aware of 21 million, they're cool with it. Now, when you say Hex, there's no cap, right? So some people just don't get that. And I saw somebody talking to somebody on Twitter, like in an onboarding message, and the guy was like, I don't understand how it could possibly be inflating so little but paying so much. Like that doesn't, remember, there's think about the average person, okay? The average person in the world, they're pretty dumb. Okay, 50% of people are dumber than that person, right?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of dumb people, and we're expecting them to get like compounding staking and ladders and all that stuff. It's hard, but deflation is easy to get, right? It's like I had 10, now I have 9, then I have 8, right? So yeah, it's that. I think it's just a factor of that. Now, again, I think that Hex will still succeed in the long term, because what matters, right? Price matters. Our chart, we're still outperforming Bitcoin and ETH from inception. And I think, and I think that Pulse is going to help, and PulseX is going to help Hex in the long run. So
I do too. I think, to Wendy's, your earlier point about the Bitcoin maximalist stuff and how we have that in Hex too. I think PulseChain is going to change a lot of that, because I think people may be more diversified. I'm not going to be showing alt stuff, but you know what I mean, right? There's homegrown projects coming from Hexicans that are going to be built on top of PulseChain, and with all these other protocols, people might be coming in. Like Hex on Pulse might do better further on down the line, because like you guys have all said, people understand Pulse better, they understand PulseX better, and then maybe once they're more engaged with the community and they see how things work, some of those gains start pulling back into Hex later on. That's kind of how I see things playing out.
It's not about the coins that you choose. It's about how you present yourself, right? The problem with the Bitcoin maximalist scenario is that it's kind of a I own Bitcoin, I'm better than you, and we're an exclusive club, and we're only going to talk about this, or we're only going to talk about that. it's the exclusivity issue that is the problem, because when you try to have you know, a membership only club sort of scenario, you are limiting the amount of people that can be reached because you're putting requirements on those people on whether or not they can participate. And that is anti-adoption. That is how you head towards extinction, because you don't allow anybody to have any opinions other than your own. So that's where the issue is. It's not about the coins that you choose or what you prefer. It's about telling other people what they have to do and what the requirements are, and putting labels on things. That's where the big issue is. You can't set limits like, you know, you have to own at least this much, or you have to have a 555 stake, or you're not a real Hexican, or you're not really one of us, sort of things, right? People tend to latch on to things that are bigger than themselves, right? People root for teams, even though they're not on the team. They're not making the score. They didn't make the team. They're not coaching the team. They're not spending their hours on the team, but they sure do root for their team. And when they talk about their team, they say, "Oh, we did really well," right? Because people want to connect and they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. The problem is you do get people that are fanatical, and it's like, "Oh, my team's going to kick your team's butt," and they get all uppity about that. Look, what's going to happen is going to happen. You can't come off aggressive on people all the time, or bust them, because they might have a different idea than you. You're going to choose what you're going to choose, but I guess less projection, less trying to project your will on others is what the problem is with the maximalist thing.
Yep. It's funny. A lot of people call themselves Hexican, but legally, I don't think anybody's going to be Hexican for at least 5 years until Richard Heart makes HEXICO. And then if I was a betting man, you're going to have to sacrifice HEX to become a citizen. All right. You got to buy that citizenship, boy. And it's going to burn a lot of HEX. All right. So we're all using the title, but we haven't earned it yet.
See, I didn't even like that initially when we had that title, because I don't like putting labels on things, because when you put labels on things,
The Hexican title?
Yeah, even that, because you're creating an exclusion, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Hexican, you're not. Okay.
Yeah, that's true, because
it is tribalism for sure.
There is, yeah, because
that's human, right?
Yeah, and I've seen tweets where people are like, "Hey, what do I have to do to be like? Does this make me a Hexican now, or do I have to be staked Quattro Cinco to be a Hexican? Do I have to have this to be a Hexican?"
that is part of that, people wanting to be part of something that is greater than themselves, and that is part of adoption, and that's okay. Where it becomes a problem is where you start setting limits and cutting things back and saying, "Oh, but you have to do this, you have to do this." You set these requirements that, now all of a sudden you start becoming an exclusive group. You just get closer and closer to exclusivity. You keep adding things onto that list where, no, you only can hold HEX, or no, you can only do this. That's where it becomes the problem. But initially it works out good, because, like I said, everybody wants to be part of something bigger than themselves. They want to take ownership of that thing, even though they weren't the ones crunching the keys, making the code. They want to take ownership of it. So, and that's okay. It's okay to be proud of what the choices that you made, and to be part of a community. It's another thing if you're trying to exclude and lock people out because they don't necessarily agree with you on everything.
Yep.
Well, Nardo, you were day one, right? And Johnny you were day one?
I was day 3.
I was day 0. I was with Wendy's there waiting for the HEX that almost never came out.
Yep.
I was there for the first 4 more weeks. 4 more weeks.
So what? Can you guys go over how much the community has shifted since then? Because I've only been in the community.
I mean, it's literally it's unexplainable. It's
well, you better try to explain it, because I want to hear it.
I mean, in the beginning it was.
Try.
In the beginning, it was like, I mean, it was such a small community. You knew every single Hexican's like Twitter handle and name, and basically like anytime there was a HEX tag on Twitter, there was literally like 100 people in the comments saying scam, and you're just like fighting with people on Twitter. We all got like suspended. from Twitter in the early days because you were just getting so mad because we understood how, you know, like the math worked and everything like that. We understood that the OA was a good thing and not a bad thing. And, you know, we understood a lot of these things that like people really didn't get. And, you know, I think we all heard daily that it was going to be a rug pull. If you knew anybody in crypto and they knew you were an
They still
Xer,
say
they
that.
told you, yeah, they'd say that. And some people still do. Yes.
We're
you know,
still
smart
now
people
it's
admit
all
when they're wrong,
rug pull.
right?
We're all gonna get lit up in about 5 years, guys.
Yeah.
That's the new one.
That's what I feel like saying. It's like, why don't you go to Go or Hex.vision and maybe you can forecast? It's like, well, why don't you pull out before all this Hex comes back into circulation? You know, we have the tools, we have the technology, the blockchain is there.
I mean,
What about you, Nardo? How was it for you, man?
crazy.
Yeah.
Go Nardo.
Oh,
I'm trying to get everyone involved here. I'm so excited. So many OGs in the house.
you know, I guess it's just like watching anything grow. Sometimes it gets different food and different water, and different things happen in the community.
Are you
I don't know.
surprised? Are you surprised at the growth?
Not at all. I thought we'd actually have more growth at this time, being 2.5 years in. I believe that's one of those things. Even like myself, you know, we're all trained to go the easiest route. You know, so going up against all the haters and still going against all the crowds and still educating everyone, it's tough out here. And then when you put current market sentiment on here, ain't nobody really trying to have it. So, you know, I think we're all blessed that we have everything going on just to participate as we did. Because if this would have been good times, you know, nobody might not even seen Hex.
Right.
You know, if there was no sickness, if there was no this or that.
True.
The greatest
You know?
of innovations come out of necessity.
Yeah, I
Greatest
love that quote.
This
Necessity
is a
breeds
necessity.
invention, right? That's the quote.
Yeah.
Necessity breeds invention. Well, that's what I kind of was thinking about that because I got in like right around this time last year. What date is it? Yeah, right at the beginning of May last year sometime. And there was already tons of you guys on Twitter and stuff. And then, do you guys think with as you guys being OGs, do you think with PulseChain coming and people's trying to build a bunch of stuff on top of it that kind of caused some growing pains in a way in the community because you kind of had this, you still have those hardcore Hex maximalists on Twitter.
Well, there's a bit of a reason for that too, because there were a lot of things built right from the beginning, and we had influencers that built their own products and they pretty much abandoned Hex and went on to do their own things, and we had a lot of carnage. And
There was a lot
of carnage that a lot of people never saw because we didn't speak about it. We used the Richard Heart method of ghosting it and not talking about it. However, we lost a lot of Hexicans pretty big payday. Pretty big payday. We had a lot get washed out because of some of the stuff that was going on. So there really is a reason for it. Secondly, you've got people that are very adversarial and defensive about their products. Now, if their product's a good product, they shouldn't have to be too defensive about it because time will tell. Time will tell if those things are going to grow or go. Okay. And as much adversity as we've received in Hex, and yet we've still done well, that adversity should breed strength, not weakness. So I don't like I am totally turned off by a product that comes in and like, you guys are trying to gatekeep us like we were gatekeep. When I hear that, I'm immediately turned off because I have seen other products do that and just go boom. Okay, because it has happened like 12 times, no doubt. You just haven't heard of those things. So you know, I don't like that. I don't like it. It's the same thing, right? So they say, you know, you've got the one side where new products say that the Hexicans attack them, but then on the same note, they're attacking the Hexicans and calling them maxis. So both of those things are attacks, aren't they? You know, you're just attacking from different angles. So you can't say one thing is right and one thing is wrong. You know, so I just leave it alone. Most of the stuff I just leave alone. It's either going to survive or it's not. It's not really worth taking the time to argue. about it. It's either going to make it or it's not. And if it's strong, then even with the adversity that it receives, it should triumph. If it's not, then, well, it wasn't meant to be to begin with. It's just kind of that simple. There's no use really fighting about it.
Yeah, product
people
market
don't
fit.
understand the history that Hex has had, because like new people that weren't here like us, we don't really bring it up that much. But like, Hexter, do you know what we're talking about? Can you name the projects that we're talking about that just like wrecked so many Hexicans? And
No.
there was many of
Epic
them.
wreck.
There was multiple
Yes.
of them.
There was one
Like,
called
we're
Red.
Promise
probably not
coins, bro.
Yeah, we're probably not even thinking of the same coins. There were so many, honestly.
Yes.
And like, I think the way it is now, like, so especially like, you know, the sacrifice phases that are going on now. So there's a difference, right, between sacrifice phases going on before PulseChain launches and after, right? Because if they're going on before, they're basically marketing to, you know, a lot of Hexicans, right? And we know what happened with ETH when the ICO phase happened, right? ICOs
Bingo.
got all the ETH and they dumped it all. What do you think has happened with Hex, right? It's like, you know,
Yeah.
some wouldn't accept Hex, so people sold Hex to sacrifice, and that's why the price is where it is now. You know, like, I mean, you know, obviously a bear market doesn't help, but there was definitely a lot of coins sold for that reason. So I think that after PulseChain launches and people can speculate with PulseChain onto, you know, like other projects being built, I think it's going to be much better for Hex.
See, and it's kind of a stopper too, Wendy's. You know, when people say, "Well, you're attacking us. You're being gatekeepers." That's kind of a problem too, because what does that do? Well, if we ghost it and we leave it alone, and people lose money on it, then we're in a position where we didn't say anything, right?
Right.
So that's forcing an issue where if we think something is potentially harmful, we don't have a right to tell anybody about it, because if we say something about it, now we're attacking somebody else. So that really, when they force that position, that does not look good. Because
Correct.
it's almost like they're using that as a cop out for you know, preventing others from speaking out against them, right? And we have had that experience where we were gatekept. So we do have sympathy for people that are being gatekept. So if we don't, and it's almost like they're utilizing that against us to prevent us from saying things that may deter people. You know, it's like to shut us up, right?
Yeah.
And that strategy just makes me really weary. What, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, at some point, you
Different
know,
way
they
of
want to.
thinking about it.
I was going to say they want to separate you from the awesome thing that you have. You know, that's targeted in multiple things out here in the real world. You
Well,
guys have to
they're
get
always
that
gonna go
real
where the
life
money
experience.
is. You know, the opportunists are always going to go where the money
Yes.
is.
Correct.
Plain and simple. You are always going to have more opportunists trying to separate you from what you've accomplished because they weren't there. They weren't there at the beginning. You know, so now they're trying to get in late and separate you from the thing that you have, and they're trying to divide the community by putting you in a position where you cannot say anything negative about anything because you're gatekeeping.
Yep.
But if you don't say anything, you risk other people getting hurt because you've seen these things happen before. And a lot of those things, like Wendy's was saying, was created before. They were anonymous founders. For all
Yep.
we know, some of the same people could be behind these newer things that you're seeing
Yeah,
right
absolutely. I mean, they made a lot of money off the Hex community, right? So why not try it again, right? If you're given the opportunity. So yeah,
Do you guys
we've seen
ever
a lot
on
of
here?
crazy stuff.
Do you guys ever go on here and look at any of these other communities in DeFi that have been going on? Like, who's that
Yeah,
one
I
guy?
mean, I was never a maxi. I always call myself a profit maximalist, right? And like
Right.
the reason
Well,
why I know liquidity farming is because I did it, right? So
Well, like the reason I always keep telling people why Hex is so much better is like there's some serious shit going on with rug pulls right now in the DeFi space.
yeah, it's crazy. It's
Oh,
crazy.
dude.
And
Everything
Like,
is like
bad.
For over a year.
man. It's crazy.
Like, you guys know Forex Shark, right? Wendy's, you've heard of Forex Shark?
I don't think so.
He made the Drip token, Drip Network or whatever.
Oh, okay. I know Drip. Yeah.
Anyways, they have this like a liquidity farm, and they're paired up with BSC, and they run a BSC network, and they have the animal farm, and they had a launch a couple weeks ago, and some bots got in and scooped up a shit ton of the supply, and they just froze the protocol. They froze everybody's assets, and it's been frozen for about 5 weeks. You can't
There
do
you
that.
go.
And then another
It's
one.
crazy.
Another one was a rip off of another one. Splash,
Yeah.
I think it's called. Splash
Copy
just
and paste.
copy and paste, and they're holding shit.
There's
like
a
all
ton
these-
of
Yeah.
My
This is
question is, why do people copy and
2017
paste?
all over.
Why do people copy and paste shit that didn't work? Like
Right.
when people copy,
don't know.
if you
It
copy
did
and paste
work
something
for
that's
them.
successful, well, yeah, that's true. But like, I don't think I'm not inherently against forks. Like, look, PulseChain is a fork, right?
Mhm.
PulseX is a fork. I'm not against forks. I just think that you should fork things that are good, right?
Right.
Things that are, so like forking
Right.
Ethereum, forking Binance Smart Chain, good, right? Those did numbers, right? Forking Uniswap, forking PancakeSwap, good. Those did numbers, right? Like forking a coin that went down 99%.
Not good.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the
I
rate?
look
Richard
at it like
Houses.
I will
Yeah.
go as far as to say this: if the coin has the word finance in it, you're about to transfer your finance to whoever created the coin. And I got something else to tell you about that finance coin. It's probably the same anonymous team that made the last finance coin, only
Probably.
they changed the name of the type of finance coin, whether it's pickle, whether it's cream, whether it's damage finance.
Yeah.
I like DMG. That was awesome. Damage. You know you're going to get damaged, right? Correct. You know you're going to get wrecked.
You get what you pay for, right?
You get what you're ever going to pay for, and it's hilarious because literally people are in the mindset that an anonymous founder good. No, anonymous founder means some 12-year-old mom and dad's basement could have just took your money. That's what anonymous founder means, right?
Yeah.
PS5 secured.
And
Right.
I mean, it's hilarious to even think that that's even
Yeah, Rex
possible,
coin.
but it is, And
That
and
Vex
people-
coin blew my mind.
What?
Rex,
The Rex
oh,
coin.
yeah, I didn't even think
'Cause
about
I
that one.
was
I
a
haven't
fairly
heard that
new
one in a while.
Hexican when that Vex coin came out, and I was looking at him like, okay, this is obviously a scam. I'm not even going to bother wasting my time.
Mhm.
And I saw so many Hexicans get scammed off of it, got rug pulled off. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is this?
You want to know why? Because they were late, right? And so they wanted to be early, and so they said, fuck Hex, get Rex, and instead they
Get wrecked.
They got
they
wrecked.
fucked Hex and got wrecked.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
at
mean,
the
hey, look,
same
I
time,
know
son, I was
people.
legit in the same boat. I was only not even 3 months into Hex. I definitely, was early myself, but I guess some people are really that greedy that they just blind themselves to common sense at that point.
Yes. They
Well,
did,
let me
especially
give you a
8 months
piece of
sideways.
advice. Usually, the first coin does the best, right? So if you see forks of forks of forks, usually the original beats it, right? And name any fork, and it's pretty much been like that, with the exception of like Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum had the social consensus, and now Hex. Like I think PulseChain Hex is going to do better price wise because the community supports that mission, right? But like 99% of the time, if you see Ohm and another Ohm fork, like Ohm's already wrecked. Like the Ohm fork is going to get wrecked, right? Hex had Axion, it had Wise, all of those tokens completely destroyed, right? And I met, and Hex Business, Hex Money, all that stuff wrecked. Fucking prawns, all of it.
the Hex shrimp, the shrimp farm.
Yeah, the shrimp farm. Got to get
That
my prawns, dude. My buddy told me, he's like, yeah, I farmed some prawns, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like Hex was just like, just go fucking stake it, you retard. Yeah, like people are retarded, honestly.
And Silver showed us online or on chain where those other coins bump their Hex on our heads.
Mhm.
So basically, it was to get your Hex and then dump it on your heads. And
Yep.
most of those big dips were a result of from Hexicans falling for those other things
Bingo.
and dumping on our heads.
And it's the same thing now.
Review some of Silver's old videos, and you'll see where he pulls out. Here's Hex money. Here's Hex business. Here's one of these hourglass game. Here's this. Here's this. This is where we got our heads dumped on. So
Right.
it's legit. It's on chain. We saw.
No, it is happening, and like that's the funny thing. Is like you can look and see, oh, this person sacrificed for this, dumped Hex to do it. Like that's all verifiable on chain. So it's like you can't even really like disprove that. I think like So I think, when we talk about this, like people say, oh, maxis, whatever. Like I'm not a maxi, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. And like the reason that I don't recommend a lot of stuff is because, like
You don't feel
Tap
safe.
said, right? The rug pulls. I don't feel safe, right? So like, how can I, like in good conscience, like, really, when you start having thousands of followers, you kind of want to protect people because, like I said, the average person is pretty dumb. And 50% of those people that follow you are probably even dumber. So like,
You hear that, people?
If you say
You're
something,
pulling Wendy's.
Correct.
Get away from it.
Well, Wendy's,
half of
it's
you
the same thing. It's
retarded.
like, if I say something about providing liquidity, I've got 20 people on there. How do you do that? How do you start? It's like, whoa. There's things.
Oh yeah, people are fucking stupid already in the normal world. They don't do their fucking finances. They have some dumbass in front of them at the bank or whatever across the phone. That's like, what do you want to do? Oh no, you can't do that. Oh, okay, well, then give me that. No, you can't really do that by
People
like
are
what?
screwing
Oh, okay,
horse
so then let me do that then, and then it's like they come in crypto and they're like, what do I do?
You got to watch what you say, but
but even people that make money,
people just going to mimic whatever you do, and maybe there's some information that they don't have, and they follow in behind you, and then they get themselves wrecked. So it's like, it's almost like
they're not informed.
Information
they're not
There's not
informed
enough.
properly.
People only listen for a short amount of time, right? Like someone could have we've been going for an hour and 20, right? And I could say like, oh, I'm gonna give this strategy. They might tune in for that 1 minute and miss the full context, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up like wrecking themselves because they didn't listen to the whole thing. Oh, that's cool. I'm not gonna listen to an hour, but I logged on and like Wendy's was talking about this, but then he did, and then I clicked off before he said, the danger is this, right? So like a lot of this stuff takes a lot of time to explain, and if you're not getting it, but yeah, people are going to wreck themselves because they're impatient, because they're looking for the moon.
Yep.
They see people retired, they see people traveling the world, buying toys, and they want that, and they're gonna need to click the button. That mental thing where I got to click the button because if I'm clicking something, then that means good, right? Like I can make money when I'm clicking, right? People don't want to like set it and forget it. They don't want to stake 15 years and forget it. They need to push that button. You need that validation. So.
You're on fire,
Do it on
bro.
testnet then.
So with that being said, guys, okay, because I always talk to like people in the Twitter space about this. There's one thing that like onboarding, right, that confuses people, and I don't like saying it like this. One, and there's a lot of things. So the first one is staking, right? Telling people that you could stake your HEX. Again, I know I'm going to create a massive FUD for this, but we're not actually staking, right? So when we're telling these noobs that, oh, you could come here and do this, well, then they go ahead and say, I'm going to do my due research, and they go research what staking is, and they're like, oh, yeah, I could do that for real, and then they come, and they're like, oh, I want to take out my money after a week. I want to get into this shit coin, and then, boom, where's my money? What the fuck happened? I thought I was staking, And then another one is like...
the truth engine conversation comes in. You got to tell them about the truth engine.
100%.
Set terms you can honor, and honor the terms you set, or you will have no money.
So is that really staking? Is that really staking? Because I was like arguing with people, and I looked up the actual, like, even the term of DeFi. Like, HEX is not DeFi. It's literally like you're doing political.
They our concept, and they made it into something, a centralized platform. What staking
100%.
is when you are literally burning your coins, okay, and then you're creating shares, and those shares are getting part of the pool. Okay, their version of staking is literally BitConnect 2.0. Literally, what they are selling you is BitConnect. You are putting your coins on a centralized platform, which they control with an off switch. That is literally what it is. And they're saying this is okay, DeFi, but communicating directly with the code and running your own contract is not. So it got backwards, right? So this whole staking DeFi platforms, HEX is not a platform. HEX is a code. Decentralized platforms are literally no different than BitConnect. Binance platform, I wouldn't be surprised if Binance platform is BitConnect 2.0 because they were probably behind it to begin with.
Well, it's because they're giving their money in a pool. You're giving your coins and you're putting it somewhere and you're getting a receipt for it. But in HEX, you're not putting it anywhere. You're destroying them. You're getting the right to go ahead and get more later on.
But that's what I'm saying is
I 100%.
They stole
but that's
DeFi from us.
What I'm saying is that we should stop. Like the whole point is like stop comparing it to that bullshit because it's already been categorized. People are like, well, you can't change the definition. And I'm like, I don't want to change the definition. I want to create a new one because it's like we're doing completely different. We're not doing DeFi. Why? Because we're interacting with the contract ourselves. You're not giving your money nowhere. So finance is like, what do you do with your financing? Well, you're taking your money and you're doing something with it with people. Why are we compared to that? That's
Well,
what I
we
hate. Why are
are-
we compared to Bitcoin?
Again, but again, like
We're
you're talking
different.
like DeFi, you're talking DeFi and all that stuff. We were literally like the first iterations of it. You know, like DeFi didn't exist before Hex. So staking, like Hex was one of the first like true staking coins. So you're like conflating with all the stuff that came after, and there's been like probably like thousands of other projects. But like we were like literally the first, you know,
They
the whole
stole
like
that
stake,
word
unstake.
DeFi from us. That did not become a buzzword until after Hex.
They weren't even using, dude. Nobody was even using Uniswap. We were using
No.
Uniswap. So
Correct.
like that's the thing. Like people don't even know, man. Like nobody even remembers.
40%
Like
of
we
all
started this
trading
shit.
volume on Uniswap was
Well, you
Hex
had the
in
most
beginning.
volume. It had the most
How
volume,
much,
but then
Johnny?
at one
40?
point, the utilization of Aave was like you couldn't stop it.
Aave came so much later. Aave
Way
came a
later.
lot
So
later,
much
man.
later.
And like honestly, you know, like people say that like truly any like all of this is finance, right? Like if you look at any stock, like no matter what it is, it could be a stock for a tire company. They're gonna say like that's part of finance, right? Like crypto is another asset class that's, you know, in finance. Like if you say that Bitcoin is a store of value, it is decentralized finance. So even if Hex is not interest, it's not a CD, it's just inflating like Bitcoin. It's still, in my opinion, decentralized finance. It's more decentralized than half of the stuff that is called DeFi, right? Because they're not truly
You're the only one, though.
decentralized.
Platform to use it. So the difference with the big difference that people need to point out is that Hex is a code with front ends. Hex.com is not a website that you have to have. You can
Right.
go to ethereum.io and write the contract function. Go.hex.com is a staking front end. It is not a
Interface.
centralized platform. It is
Right.
just a path to
You can do
interact.
it right from the contract. Yep. And there's videos showing you how to do that. And if you want to nerd out, go search them. There's explainers on how to do it. If Hex.com ever went down, we're fine.
If any
No,
of
that
the
I know.
websites
I'm
go
just saying
down,
it's so dumb that the people are giving it that tone where it's like I just feel like there's something new that has to come out of this because it's like we're getting these fucking people coming in and always comparing it, and it's like, but there's nothing to compare. We're unique, and I'm with
using
you guys.
fake
I'm
DeFi.
People are dumb.
100%. They are 100% doing the
Again.
opposite of what it is. It's like they're doing. Might as well go in the centralized exchange and have your money guaranteed in any shape or form of hack. You're like, why are you going there and having the opportunity of always getting hacked? That's what I understand that. But
it
I'm
takes
saying
time to
also
educate
it's like
people. It takes time to
it
educate people.
really
A lot of
does,
people
man.
don't know.
Well, they're lazy too.
100%.
People are lazy as hell. Like
Correct.
this is the price for getting in early with all the stuff we're in, right? Like when you guys know all the story, how many times we've onboarded people and how long it takes to get them from their fiat bank to their centralized exchange to their MetaMask to the gas fees to how long you want to stake for and how you can monitor your shit. People are lazy.
So
Yep.
their experience with
100%.
Crow is a centralized platform. The website can go off. They stake their Crow. You're not really staking anything. Robinhood, you don't really own anything. You've got
can't
an
even send them.
IOU. You got an IOU for crypto that you can't do anything with. You don't have a wallet on Robinhood. You literally have an IOU for crypto they may or may not have. Okay. Crow is a centralized platform. If they don't have the money, they can shut it off. Same thing with Coinbase. People stake their Tezos on Coinbase. The little ticker runs up. They like watching the little ticker run up, but you're not holding it in your own wallet. If Coinbase goes down or wants to shut it off, they can shut it off anytime they want. Stake your USDC on Coinbase. They can shut it off anytime they want. Hex doesn't shut down. That is the difference. All these other things that they're talking about are dependent on one entry point, one website, one entry point, one gate that can be shut and locked on you. That is not decentralized. That is very centralized. Hex, you can communicate directly with the code. If you don't want to use one of the other 5 front ends, you can build your own damn front end and communicate directly with the contract. Okay? If you can't, you can hire a dev to get your money because they can build you a front end so you can communicate with the code. But you should be able to go on Etherscan even if all the other websites went down and just hit the write to contract function, unless for some reason Etherscan goes down. All these other things, if the website is down, you lose your money. You don't have access. That is
404
not
error.
DeFi. That is centralized. Fake.
And even like some of these other coins, like that tried to compete with Hex, right? They like basically they gave too high of inflation, right? The inflation was crazy high, and people are like, "Oh my god, I'm getting 1,800 APR." Yeah, where are those coins now? Down 99%, right?
Yeah, those
99.
coins you can get every day with your interest.
Yep. Then there was staking for node per service, right? Even the strongest.
Oh, that node stuff
of
is
all
garbage.
even the strongest one.
That you
coin
had to
held
look
up,
at it. That you had to be
it's
on the
too late.
charts. Had to be looking at like everything, just like literally trading. And you were like, okay, now I have to get out this and then you have to look
That's
at
like
for
a
another
crackhead.
thing to go to. It
They're
was like
horrible.
Well,
chasing.
those are
It was like
actually
chasing
Ponzi's. They
deals
run out of
on
coins,
fucking Amazon.
and people don't even understand that. And there's
Yeah,
guys that
100%.
were making 200,000 a day, and they make that indefinitely because
Yeah,
it doesn't
never-
like Hex at least adapts, right? Like Hex will adapt. These coins don't. They just give you flat amounts.
They're doing the
And
whole 1% ROI.
There's never any
thing.
penalty. Oh yeah.
They
It's
just
like,
fail. You look at any of these charts, they come up, they have their big runoff, then they'll do a pullback, have a little bit of recovery, then the slow
the only reason that those coins even exist is because of Hex, because it's done a run up and then people say it's too late. Like I saw some guy on Twitter the other day that's like, it's too late for me and Hex. So what's next? It already had its run. It's down like 80 something %. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's just crazy to me. Like,
What
you know,
about
like how many times did Bitcoin dip?
Put $1 million in. If the price doesn't move, you make $130,000 a year. Tell me Hex is done.
Yep. I bought Bitcoin at the bottom this last bear market, right? Like I bought it like I think 3,400, something like that. Maybe it went to 3,100. And how did I do that, right? I heard Tone Vay saying it was going to 1,500, all this stuff, but I was like, man, it's down a lot. It was down like 80% or whatever. I'm like, could it drop another 50%? Sure. But I was like, I'm going in here and, you know, another 50% drop, like it is what it is. Like that's crypto, right? Like, but it's like people are afraid to catch the falling knife. And it's like, those are the people that are going to miss out the next run, you know? So it's like, if you're working every week and you're not dollar cost averaging, like what the hell are you doing? You know, I did that shit for years, you know, and now I live in paradise and I do whatever the fuck I want to do, you know, but I had to pay my dues.
Buy a light for your room so we can see you.
Wendy's, I got lucky too, because when Hex came out, I had to buy Bitcoin to claim my free Hex, so I got in at like 3,800, you know, to do that, and I'm so glad that I took that Bitcoin and sold it for Ethereum and transferred it into Hex, because I mean there was just no better play. There was absolutely no better play that you could have possibly.
The bitcoins I sold for Hex was like the greatest trade of all time. You know,
I sold my
like, and I know you thought about it too, but I was like, damn, Warren Buffett ain't got shit on me. You know,
or self-referred bonus.
I had one Bitcoin. I had one Bitcoin in. That's what I bought most of my Hex with when I got into Hex. I was like, I'm getting rid of this shit, and went all into Hex.
You know, when Tone was talking about it being one Satoshi, you could have had 100 million Hex.
Yeah,
I don't want to know. The point is, I'm in. But am I too late? Is it too late, boys?
It's too late to get on.
I honestly remember that point. But this is the thing, right? Like even people like me, and I think Nardo bought like around that time. But like I was in crypto for a while, like about the same time as Nardo, and I was pissed, right? Hex went down like 98% after I went in, and I went in with a lot of ETH on day one. So I was fucking pissed, right? I'm like, God damn it, Richard Heart. And I slammed my fucking laptop down, you know? But it was like the people who actually were like, man, this fucking sucks, but I'm buying. Those people are the ones on the golden yachts right now, okay? And I've met plenty of them, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. I couldn't do it, but
good for
you
them,
did.
though, right?
Salute to you.
I didn't buy day one because Richard said not to.
You know what? God damn it! You know,
what founder doesn't tell you to buy their coin, day one?
But I'll tell you, Wendy's, I did screw up because I did play the 1 Satoshi 2 Satoshi game to double my bag. So I was on buy desk doing the 1 Satoshi 2 Satoshi.
Okay.
I was buying at 1, selling at 2, while everybody was complaining and bitching and griping. So then
doubling your bag.
Past 2 Satoshis, like, oh shit, I ain't getting that back now. So I did get hit with that. I didn't get hit with the thing, but I did keep buying.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about crypto, right? Is if you stay in and you keep buying and you're dollar cost averaging, you can make some fucking terrible mistakes. Terrible mistakes. I've lost millions and millions of dollars, you know,
Yeah.
in short periods of time. But guess what? I'm still here. I'm still not having to work. I do whatever the fuck I want. You know, like crypto will save you, but you gotta put the blood, sweat, and tears in. Right.
Yeah.
If you haven't like cried
Yeah.
because of your losses, then you know you're probably not ready to make it yet. And, like I had so many people. Look, Twitter was full of people talking about they retired from HEX, from crypto, from all this stuff. And like I saw so many people like low key like, oh, you know, like right back to work. They're like, oh, you know, deleted that out of their profile or whatever.
Boy.
Like, and you know,
That's
I
the
say that like
stupidity, though.
it is sad. It is sad. It does suck. But
Yeah.
like, you know, guess what? Like, if you're not in this class, if you're not in the class of like, you know, 2021, maybe you'll be in the class of 2024. You know, like sometimes you got to stay back and grade. You got to learn the lesson. So that's just the way it is. You know, we're all out here, and you know,
Yeah.
out here, like in Puerto Rico, I've met a lot of people, you know, retire from crypto, and it's like you talk to them, they're like, oh, when did you retire? Like, when did you, you know, come out here? 2017. You know, when did you come out here? 2018. You're like, wait, how the fuck did you manage that in the bear market? You know what I mean? Like you get in these talks and stuff, and you hear about people who made it, people who didn't. But in the long run, if you stick it with it, you know, you're gonna make it. So
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to add from our earlier conversation is the fact that we do have a lot of people that HEX is their first crypto, and their experiences are set at this level. And if you only have good experiences and you don't have the damage, you are more inclined to get sucked into these other things because you've had a good experience.
yeah,
Same
that's
thing with like the
100% true.
sacrifice phases, right? Everybody was all excited about Richard's sacrifice phase. That is an unusual thing. And I recommended that like nobody do any sacks for anything other than, you know, this is a very unorthodox thing. You know, and I mean, if you look at it from the perspective of an opportunist, you would say, well, if I'm an opportunist, look, all these people are just giving this guy money. Why don't I create something where people just give me money? Sounds like a great idea. They're giving him money, so why don't I create this thing to get me money? You know? So, and people that are used to, you know, something like HEX that has done what it said it was going to do are more inclined to get scammed if that was their first experience, because they haven't had the hard knocks yet. They haven't learned the hard lessons. And that's where it takes people that have had the hard knocks to sometimes stand up and say, hey guys, this is not a normal thing. This is not a normal experience. You are lucky that you're on this trip, and not everything is like this. And watch yourself, because there are predators out there that are just waiting to chew you up and spit you out. So,
Well,
you know,
that's why Pulse is going to be so exciting, because we have this huge community that grows every single day, is going to be hopefully trying to look out for these users. Like, we're not going to see all of them, obviously, because there's going to be tons of them, but
well, most people don't look out for other people. Most people just look out for themselves, especially in the crypto space. It's not most
Right.
communities are literally, they're still about them. You know,
Right.
they're, you know, I don't need to do this. You know, I don't need to be on Twitter every day. I don't need to go on these streams. I don't need to say any of this shit.
Johnny,
y'all-
we need you.
Hex
We
can
need you
stay-
on Twitter.
Hex
We
can
need those
stay-
videos.
But HEX can stay at 13 cents forever, for all
Yeah.
I care. I am making a killing. I don't need the price to move at all, ever, in my entire life. And I will be just fine. And you know what? I will also have more coins tomorrow than I have today. And I will never sell out of the coins that I initially have now, because I make enough interest that I can sell a fraction of that interest and make a killing and still have more coins than I do the day I sold them. You know, people don't understand the power of that, you know?
No. That's what's so frustrating to me about it.
I think we need to teach them, because it's like hard for someone to come in and say, well, what do I do now? You know, what do I do now? So it's like,
It's an
How do you-
obligation.
Well, look, that's the
100%.
beauty, right?
You
The
have
beauty
more
It is.
less
like
say
It
if you
is.
compare
tomorrow
compare
compared
Hex-
to today.
Yeah, and if you compare HEX to like say the nodes per service thing that like a lot of big accounts on like crypto Twitter showed, those guys can have all of their coins and dump all of them, and they're going to make the same amount of coins the next day, right?
Yeah.
Like it never ends. Whereas like if you have 100 million HEX and you're getting a bag of HEX, right? You're getting millions and millions of coins a year. If you dump that 100 million, you can't make any more.
No.
Okay, so that's the difference between like HEX and those nodes, right? So there is a penalty right? If whales sell the price down, and it gives the new people an opportunity, you know, like they lost their opportunity. They lost the chance to get, you know, to use those coins to make more coins. Now it's getting more decentralized. Now maybe 100 or 500 people instead of one person are making all those coins a day, right? And those people are waiting for the next 100x so they can retire. So it's a beautiful system, and like the dips are part of it, right? Like anytime you have like something that goes up parabolic, right? Like I think for a long time, like Hexicans didn't think that there would be any pain, you know. But a lot of us who've been in crypto a long time knew that pain was coming. It was only a matter of when, you know. It's when is it going to happen? And in a bull market, everybody's bullish and everybody's winning.
You can
And people
you
just-
never
they don't wanna
underestimate
see-
the power of stupidity. That's the thing, right? You know, people can buy a thing. They don't have to be required to know what it is that they hold to buy a thing. And
But they
that's-
can't see a year down the line or 2 years down the line, which is unfortunate because
No, because we're in a debt.
you know when
People can't look 6 months
when you
down.
look at like a 1 year chart, let's just use a 1 year for example. You're seeing all the ups and downs, and it's like, well, yeah, but what were you bitching about on this day? What were you bitching about on this day and this day? And how much were you complaining here, here, and here? Right? So when you're going through it, it's just whine, whine, whine. I wish people wouldn't whine, but they're going to, right? People are going to cry.
Look at the
You have
That's
Bitcoin.
what they
experience
do.
it.
Look at the Bitcoin's yearly returns. Look at the Bitcoin's yearly returns. We are literally like doing what they did the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Year
Just put
three is
just
like,
put it over
The
the
chart next to it, yeah.
So then what do we do? How do we onboard people with like, because like it's beautiful to have 1 million hex, right? Like
We are
obviously
onboarding people though. We are
no, but
onboarding.
what should we do if they have like 25,000 hex, right? Like because that's beautiful. That's one T-share. It's one.
Well,
Or
they
maybe
should
if you do
stay
a
for, like,
5-5-5.
minimum of 5 years and just pretend like they don't have it. I mean, what
Mhm.
we
That's
need
what I
to get
say,
away from
minimum
this
5.
narrative. We need to get away from this narrative of this is a get rich quick thing. We need to get away from
Right.
that narrative because that's what it's not. It's a savings account. It's
Mhm.
what it is a savings account. You got to tell people, look, you lock
Absolutely.
it up, you leave
So-
it alone.
So do you like the
We-
T-share, or should we just like, you know, passe it and just say B-share for newer peoples? Because it gives like a decentralized.
It's really
like,
just shares.
come
It's
in
really
like
just shares. Like,
we don't
yeah,
have
shares-
to bet someone.
It depends who
I
you're
feel-
talking to, right?
I
It depends who you're
exactly.
talking to.
So this is what I was thinking about, because I was always telling people, like, if for the last year, okay, half of the stakers, you look at the data, okay, I want to talk to you guys about this. The data says that about half of the people came in the last year. You know, the price of T-shares, they could only have gotten this if they would have put this, and most people don't have this to put in this, right? So it's like they could only have that many T-shares. So should we, as a community, you know, change the option to B shares? So like, you know, Richard Heart once recently said, he's like, why do you think I changed it and I have so much in the supply? So like that it's easier to say, well, I'm giving them 500 hex instead of 0.00001. So I'm like, okay, so let's just now, if we're onboarding new people, let's entice them and create B shares and have the B shares. But at the same time, it's going to show us who these people are if they're talking to us about it. Because a T-share, like me and you talk about T-shares where we understand our legitimacy of our ranking and you know, like I think it's time to change the T-share just because it'll be more enticing for onboarding. There's certain things as a community we should develop, evolve, because right now it's just more enticing. 1,000 B shares.
The problem
Well,
is
it's like this. This is the issue. Yeah, like if you have a business, right? And let's say you're a weed dealer, right? You're just selling dimes on the street. Okay, you're selling dimes on the street with what? Are you selling with $100 bills, 1,000? You know, like, and if you're selling Maseratis or Ferraris, like, what kind of money are you dealing with? So if you're onboarding a millionaire, yeah, talk T-shares. If you're onboarding like, you know, a teacher, yeah, B shares, right? It just depends on who you're onboarding, how much money they're putting in, right? You want to say like, because T-shares do still exist.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
it
How
is
many
still
people are
possible
actually
to
going to
buy.
onboard a billionaire? How many people are onboarding a billionaire?
I can,
Like,
I know,
I can
too.
I
promise
understand. Me
I
too.
can
But it's
promise
easy,
you,
man.
man.
But they're probably not the
It's just
healthiest people
all
to
I'm saying
onboard.
is it just depends. It really
No.
just depends. No, I mean,
But
whales move
it's
the
not
chart.
the goal.
Man. Whales move the chart.
100%.
My goal is to
Always.
onboard as many millionaires as I can.
Always.
We're
But
going
like,
to
let's
put
be
$1 million
honest.
and earn $130,000 a year if the price doesn't move.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like when people want help, right? I don't think someone needs help if they can onboard a millionaire. To be honest with you, I don't need help.
No.
I don't need help to talk to a millionaire if I'm talking to
Right.
millionaires because I'm. You understand? It's like we don't need
Most of the
help.
time
So
they're
when the
buying
people
you.
look at us,
But anytime you're
usually a
marketing, you have
millionaire's
to
not
know
here
your
like
customer. That's
you
what
know,
I'm
but a
saying.
millionaire's not
When
here
you're
right now
doing
looking like
marketing,
this. Like, sorry.
You think that there's not? I can almost. I'm not saying that they're watching this stream, but they do watch. I mean, there's lurkers that are huge, like
Yep.
Yeah.
really, really huge, and they listen, man. And the thing with a lot of people that are winners, they listen more than they speak, right? And because they're trying to like soak everything in. So I guarantee that there's people watching that aren't in yet. They're looking for a good opportunity. There might be
You're
a
telling
millionaire that's
us,
like, I'm waiting for, like a 95% dip. Maybe they think it's going to do what Ethereum did last time. And so they're waiting for a 95% dip. But what I'm saying is like in marketing, and that's what we're doing. We're marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to know what your customer wants. Right. And so like know what they're going for. If they want, if they're looking to get that ROI, then awesome. If they're looking for a savings account where they're not going to be able to touch it because they can't trust themselves, and you can sell them on that. Like Hex has a lot of different, traits. And so you want to sell it on what the person wants. Like a real estate investor, they might get Hex, right? Because they love cash flow, right? So maybe for them, it's to make a ladder, right? So it really depends. Somebody that doesn't have a 401k, right? And they're looking for long-term savings. Why is Hex better than Dogecoin for long-term savings? I mean, this is all stuff you can articulate, but at first you got to know what that person wants and know who you're talking to, right? Because, a millionaire is going to want to be, treated differently than,
100%.
somebody smaller. And the smaller person doesn't want to be treated as a millionaire, right? Because they want to say, what's realistic for me, right? Anybody new that I get in that is not a millionaire, I'm always telling them the earliest you should stake is 5 years, right? Because what are they doing staking less than 5 years? They're not giving it enough time to grow, And if you look, pay attention to Hex Whalebot and look at the stakes that were from day one until now. Look how well those people did. Thinking long term is the best thing that they could possibly do in Hex and in any crypto that has market fit and is going to stick around.
And like the miners, like the staking ladders. So we've got people that are basically mining Hex. So they've got like 100 million stakes that end every month, and then they pull out their interest and they restake it over and over and over again because they're mining with no equipment. So I mean,
there was a lot of Ethereum miners that got in. Big K was one of them. Big K had a mining farm, and he found Hex and he loved it, right? Because it spoke to him. And why did it speak to him? Because like Johnny said, he was a miner. He got it.
So, I mean, the Hex has the versatility to utilize it in your best use case, and that comes to do with the terms that you set for you and your own personal situation. The thing with the shares is you've got to understand how funny this is. T-shares used to be 60 cents.
Yeah, they did.
Hex used to be less than a fraction of a penny. Okay.
I know.
Oh yeah.
So when we were earning 1 Hex per day per T-share, it was a fraction of a penny, and we weren't making jack shit.
Nothing.
Right? So for the first year, it was like, Hex. We were giving away millions of Hex. Why? Because it wasn't worth nothing, right?
Oh my god, I gave away so much Hex early on. It was crazy.
Yeah. We didn't care, right? So you know what now? Now 1 T-share makes you $1 a day. That 60-cent T-share now makes you almost $1 a day. Actually, more than $1, $1.20 a day or so. Okay.
Incredible.
So literally now every day, that 60-cent T-share doubles. You make your money double back every day now from that 60-cent T-share. People don't fathom that. What's it going to be 2 years from now? So it's when it's
B-shares.
whether it's B-shares, whether it's T-shares.
M-shares.
I hope so. I'm so down. I'm so down for that. But I just
and then back to T-shares.
But see, but here's the thing, right? So the payout per day per T-share is based in payout per day per T-share. So you're getting 6 Hex per day per T-share. If you drop down to B-shares, now you're not earning a whole Hex per day. You see, there's that psychological effect too. Even when we were earning, X amount of Hex per day per T-share, and they were only worth fractions of a penny, when you change the terminology, now people are only making even less Hex that are not worth much. So you're kind of in that same situation again, where you don't feel like you're actually earning because you're only earning a fraction of a Hex for that billion of a T-share.
Well, actually, it doesn't really make a difference, right? So it's like, 100. I need 100 B shares to get a Hex, or it's like 1.5 because it's right. How much is it? So it'd be 1.5. I need 150 B shares. To me, I don't see I just make it seem better. It just looks better for me. When you have to onboard someone, it's like, oh, be sure I get 150 of it, yeah, instead of get 0.15 of it. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm just saying it looks
you
better.
almost
It looks better
leave the
for the
shares
people.
out and let them figure it out later. You can almost leave the
You
shares.
know,
Just say
That's what
share.
I was gonna say. Is like, don't even worry about like
Yeah.
like let's
Yeah,
go back to
no,
Wendy's
but it is
point. People are
important. I'm
stupid.
telling you, you'd be surprised how important it is to someone who comes in and says, "Well, I want to try it out with $500." You know,
I-
that's
Some
I would,
people,
I
but
would,
I
I
think
would
the average
say,
person
I would
who's
say
not into
sure,
crypto.
but
because me for a
Bitcoin
millionaire,
went
I'm just
from
gonna look at it and say,
Bitcoin went from cents to $69,000. So
yeah, I
yes,
know.
like people had to have basis for that, but like, come on, like it doesn't really matter. Otherwise, Bitcoin wouldn't have went that high. Like it seriously went almost to $70,000 from pennies.
Yeah.
I still think it's time, man, to just switch it and just
Well,
be like, "Yo, B shares
what-
on the like the 38% shit and just changing that with the
shut
10,000
people's
X."
brains off. You
Let's
can
do
shut people's brains off by talking over their head. This is
That's what I
one of the
mean.
problem our community does have, is where we feel like we've got to cram all our knowledge down somebody's throat so they know every aspect just like we do. And in all actuality, you don't need to know how to build an engine to drive a car.
Mhm.
Look, you put in money, you get more coins. Done.
You
But
get
if
a return.
Yeah.
You get a
Yeah,
return
but
on
you
your
know what? That's what's
investment.
beautiful about our community is that we all are so incredibly knowledgeable that why shouldn't we just call a spade a spade? It's healthier. It's the way it is. It's
Because
like,
the people we're onboarding are
Well,
don't
we
let
went-
the fucking
brain
bullshit.
We
should only
went
take
we
so
went
much.
months
know?
without understanding T-shares.
100%. I could imagine. I could imagine.
I didn't
but
understand
the thing
when
is,
I
it's
first
like,
got
let's
in.
not think negative about it. What could we do? Like, this is my focus, and this is what I want to do every day. Is one person a day. I've been doing this for 3 years. I want to influence one person a day. The Twitter Spaces allow me to do that. So when I'm asking you guys the question, it's not because I'm just trying to say we have to, lower it down, but it's just like, because obviously we could clip it and everything, but what could someone do with just a t-shirt? You know what I mean? Like, what is the best strategy? Because obviously, if you're onboarding a millionaire, man, fuck, the APY and the way they can make money, regardless on ETH, is who cares about $100 transaction? To be honest with you, let's be
Right.
honest. I don't think a millionaire gives a fuck. Because it probably
Not
costs him
really.
more to run a business, to put the money there, then lend the money, and then I have to probably take the money from some asset, and then blah 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 blah. Make a call, I have to bother someone, and while he's getting his fucking dick sucked or something by some blow escort somewhere, like it's just the way it works. So what I'm trying to get at is like the more we're gonna come in, the more people we onboard, the more it's gonna get rare, the higher we're gonna get. But the thing is that I think it's time to evolve because we are smart enough to evolve. That's the problem with crypto, and you can take I didn't evolve properly, right? I was evolving, waiting for this, finding this. So I'm new, right? But I'm still a guy who did very well for himself in crypto by understanding the notion of like technology and being very hopeful. Yes, I sold at a big X, but I did not keep it. And yes, I got wrecked. And I was like, motherfucker, why did I do that? And I don't know how many times I could tell you I did that. So yes, I'm a wrecked pleb. But who gives a fuck? I'm proud to be a wrecked pleb because this is my journey. And I've helped so many people. So I want to know for the people that
You'll
we
still
need to
make
help.
it. It doesn't matter. That's what I was saying
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
Like,
You just
you
did
can
the
make
time in the
so many
market.
mistakes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. And when I heard it took me 2 hours to be convinced. 2 hours of what it is. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's go. Okay, full. I completely dropped everything I was doing. I was like, I want to just do this because this is everyone's here. Everyone's knowledgeable. It's worth my time because it's like, you want to learn, let's go. And there's so many people that ask us questions where it comes to what can I do? How can I position myself? But they don't have the cash, right? And we're going to get a lot of people like that if we're trying to onboard the people that don't want to pay the fees on Ethereum. They're not whales. Because I'll be honest with you, if a whale was telling me, well, it's too much gas fees for me, well, you're a fucking pain in the ass, aren't you, man? You're a fucking whale. Why don't you just pay it? You're definitely making more money with a 0.1% on your fucking 100,000 if you have that. Come on, man. Like let's be honest. So the little people is what I'm focusing on. So what would you do if you only had 20,000 hex?
Well,
What,
first
what,
of
what
all,
would you do?
First of all, I would not try to get them into the whole T-share, B-share, anything. I would literally tell them, look, this is a smart contract. You put your money in, you do what you say you're going to do, and you'll get more coins out in the end. Those coins have a market value, and you'll be able to sell them at that point. You can restake your principal, and then you don't have to. This is the problem, like I said, that we have with you. Are a smart dude, okay?
Thank you.
You understood. It took 2 hours to really grasp the concept, right? We didn't start out with all this knowledge. And you grasped the concept because we had already learned it, and then you picked it up from listening to other people that have already learned it. And you're able to do that, and that's great. But most people cannot. And then you will watch people's eyes glaze over when you're talking to them. You're done. At that point, you're done. They've lost it. Their brain is shut off. They can no longer accept any more new data. You've lost them. If you can simplify it in such a way that it's so easy to understand without throwing in all the technicals, because not everybody's a technical person. Do you know how to build a cell phone? You don't know how to build a cell phone, but you know how to use one. Can you describe how to build a cell phone? There's a lot to it, right? So you don't need that technical knowledge, and having that technical knowledge does not help you use a cell phone. So, we got to stop shutting people's brains off, because even in crypto, these people pick a coin and a promise, okay? That's all they want. That's all they buy. They buy a coin and a promise. They don't understand tech. They don't understand smart contracts. They definitely don't understand something as complex as HEX. And that's why we have a problem, is because we shut their brains off. I don't understand. Must be scam. Scam.
I love
scam.
promises.
Don't understand. Cannot compute.
Oh, but you'd be surprised, man. There's like there's hundreds of people that come through the Twitter spaces with questions, and if you give them the time, that's why I run it
If they have the
24/7.
question, you give them
Yeah,
the
you answer
answer.
them.
If they don't
Exactly.
have the question, you simplify it.
Yes,
When they
that's
come back with
100%
questions,
I don't believe in
then
that.
you-
I believe in complexity, because the more complex it is, right? Teachers don't
But
have
just
the time.
leave.
They only have eight.
That's just,
They have 8
man, I'm
hours
telling
of
you,
teaching.
though.
No,
You must have not
I
talked to
beg to
enough
differ.
people though, because I've talked to plenty of people that they don't fucking care, man. I've talked to millionaires that they don't fucking care. They say, when can your business like stake for me and unstake for me? They don't care.
Yeah, but
and
that's
a
not the
millionaire.
people I'm
I've
onboarding
also,
every day.
I've
That's
also,
not the people.
well,
But that's not the point.
that's
The
people,
whole
bro.
point of the
That's
question.
people. We're talking
Yeah,
about
but the people
And
want
what
to know
I
the
said
question.
was, you got to know the person. Okay, you got to know what they want. Because
Yeah.
I've also had people, like I know a guy that I used to work with, and he saw me get rich. He saw me retire. He sees
Yeah,
my
but that's
lifestyle
face to
now,
face,
right?
man. When
And
I'm
it
onboarding
doesn't matter.
someone,
You're not letting me finish. What I'm saying is, like, this guy, he didn't want to know about his coins. He said, I'm going to stake. How long should I stake? And I said, 5 years minimum. He said, okay, 5 years is good. He said, look, Kenny's, these coins are dead to me. Like, I don't care about price, and I'm like setting an alarm, and in 5 years we'll see how it does. And of course I'm like, hey man, I want you to like keep. And he's like, no, this is what I have to do. Like, just some people are like that. So you really have to know who you're talking to.
Hurry up and wait.
And also, people don't like it when you are talking over their head.
Mhm.
When you cannot sell yourself. You can lose a sale by talking to people. They think you're calling them dumb. When you start talking over
Well, they
somebody's
feel
head,
dumb too.
you
They
will
feel dumb.
lose a sale by talking over people's heads. I'm a chemist. I talk about chemical compositions and stuff like that when people are talking to me about my products, and I've lost clients because they don't care. Their eyes glaze over when you start talking about how things are built. I have people walk into my store, right? And they'll say, how do you do this? And you start telling them, you watch their eyes glaze over, and you're like, let's just not ask that question. Let's just say it's magic, because the minute we start having this conversation, you're going to regret it. I'm going to regret it. And nobody's going to gain any information here, because you're not going to understand it, and you're not really interested. What they're interested in is, what does that product do for me? They're not interested in how it's built, how it's made. They're interested in what that product does for them. And that's just basic throughout all sales.
Yes, and I'll give you a perfect example of this. If you pay attention in like the HEXICO space, you might have seen like Jim Rat Crypto's channel. He has a guy on there, Sam Stolt, who he onboarded like a month ago. This guy is asking all the questions. He's deep diving. He's asking like very, very technical questions, because he can consume it. So like when someone does that and they show you that they have that drive, they want to know, they want to understand, then yes, feed them everything that you can, right? Because those people thrive off of it. But like Johnny said, there's people that don't want to hear it, and they just want a simple explanation. Like, they don't want to hear T-shirts. They don't want any of that stuff. So that's what I'm telling you, is you have to know who you're talking to. And you can get to, even in a Twitter space, you can understand somebody by asking them some questions first, gauging how experienced they are, what they know, and like how much time they put into getting to where they're at. So that's all I'm saying, is just know who you're talking to.
100%, but that's why I'm asking you the questions, because they want to know what you guys think. I'm doing it. I've been doing it since when? It's been January 15th.
But what
We've
I'm
been
saying
doing
is like
that.
that's not enough information. Like if somebody told me they had 20,000, like I got a lot more questions for them, right? I
Yeah, I
got
gotta
questions
see
like,
them.
what do you do for a living? You know,
Right.
yeah.
What are your
it's-
long-term
it's-
goals?
There's so
What do
many.
you want?
Yeah. What are your
want?
long-term
kind of
goals?
car
But
do
it's
you
What's
have
your
you can
family
simplify
situation?
that.
How
So you can
old are you?
simplify
Like
that by
there's
what's your opportunity cost, and like just to me, because that's where
Yeah.
people ask questions. If someone's onboarding a millionaire, I don't think they really need help. To be honest with you, it's
But
just more
that's what you
about
say, man.
showing
But
them.
honestly, like you don't know enough millionaires then because there's
Yeah.
plenty of dumb millionaires out there,
You want to deal
and
about
they
shit.
might not know. Dude,
No,
people
man, it's
make
easier.
millions
It's
from a
easier when
lot
I'm
of
in.
different ways.
It's easier when I'm doing in the realtor and I'm in the condo and I'm selling them. I say, oh, by the way, did I show you what else I'm doing? And I could show it because it's docked. But on here, I can't go like this and show this and go like this. I can't. I don't feel comfortable doing it. That's why I'm wearing this. That's why I'm doing this. It's just the way it is. But some people that I'm dealing with, and I deal with a lot of people every day, and we deal with a lot of people every day. Because if you guys want to come, you guys are part of it also. We're all doing this. And I'm just saying they have 20,000 hex. They want to cap and say maybe they have more, but they have that. So what are they supposed to do? Obviously, if we could have another conversation for the millionaires, and that's a different conversation. It's probably an easier conversation because it's like, hey, let it do the work for you, right? You'll see it very easily. You'll see it in 2-3 weeks, in a month. You'll see it. But what I'm saying is, how do you properly advise someone with a low amount of money in how to do this, right? Like you said, you
Lower
have a
amount
lot of
of money,
questions.
the
That's
longer
amazing.
amount
My
of time.
answer is
But you can always break it
almost the
down.
same for everyone. Is never even a millionaire. I'm not going to tell them to lump sum. I'm going to tell everyone. I'm going to tell the person with 20,000. I'm going to tell the person with 10,000. And trust me, I've had plenty of people that inbox me that had very small crypto bags, and they're doing well now. Why? Because I told them to DCA. I didn't tell them to throw everything in there. Because what happens? If you have $100,000, right, and you know that's all you have, and you throw it in at 50 cents. There was a guy who sold his house at the top and bought HEX. Okay, I would never have told him to do that.
Not the guy
I would
from the
never
video,
have
is
told
it?
him to do that. Yeah, and I would
Oh,
never have
man.
told him to do that. That could ruin his marriage. I mean, guys, it's not.
Correct.
This is not like Johnny said. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Like you have to understand crypto, and in traditional assets, it is typically better to lump sum invest. In crypto, it is 99% better to DCA because crypto is a very volatile asset class. It is very emotionally charged. It goes up and down wildly. And no matter how hardcore you think you are, it's going to get to you at some point. So you really do need to DCA. And so that's what I tell everybody. Now, the people like the guy I told you about that put in, I can't remember, I think he might have put like $10,000 in, the guy I used to work with. That was what he felt comfortable with. He was not comfortable with anymore. He didn't want to DCA. I explained to him why DCAing is better. He didn't want to do it. He just said, you know what? I just want to see what this is. I'm okay with losing it. I'll throw it out like, you know, as far as you say, you know, is good. And so that's what he did. But that was his choice. I would not advise anybody to do that. I think DCA is better for 99.9% of the crypto population.
And Bobcat's got a good thing about DCA. If you ever watched Crypto Bobcat, he talks about if it drops 50%, then you like double your position, and then that way you reduce your entry level down. And like so, if it went up to 50,
Below your average, yep.
Yeah, I mean, you actually
That's a big mental hurdle too.
Yeah, if you like say you start with $500, right? And it drops 50%, you put another $500 in. Now you only have to actually move back up 25% to break even. You lost 50%, but your break even point is now only 25% higher. You don't have to move 50% higher. If it drops another 50% and you either match your bag or you put another 500 in, then you lower that even farther down. So then when you do bounce,
yes,
you're bouncing with all that extra money.
And think about it like this. Remember what I said before with that I went in, I FOMO'd day one, Johnny didn't. If I had instead not put all that ETH in and I would have DCA'd over the first month, I would have made an ungodly amount of money, you know. But what happened? I went in too much, and then I got really pissed when it dropped 98%, right? So that's why DCAing is always best. And even for me, I was already in crypto for many years. I knew better, but I felt the FOMO. I was waiting for HEX for so long. I had to go in. It was the first
over a year.
It was it was amazing.
Yeah, it was
so we all FOMO'd in. It was 25,000. It was 25,000 ETH day one, I believe. You know, like that was a lot of ETH back then. You know, like that's pretty crazy. And
day three, it was down to 2,500.
Exactly. We all blew our load, and that's what I'm saying. So like, you know, in crypto, it is better to DCA 99% of the time.
But then
this
the
is
difference
something people
most
have
people
to
still
experience.
future too. You know, That was the real difference of just putting it somewhere. Crypto before then, there wasn't this opportunity to put your money out 5 years or 10 years anywhere in front of you. You know, we were
It
already
seemed like
that.
an insane idea. It really did, especially, crypto's always been short term. It's always been dump your whole
Correct.
bag, buy it all back, dump your whole bag, buy it all back. That's what we're up against in the crypto space, is trying to
Yep.
re-educate people. Even in the normal world, we live in a debt system. Okay, we buy now, we pay later. We don't think of the future. We live paycheck to paycheck. That's our style. That's how we're accustomed. That's how we're raised. There's always more month at the end of the money. It's that kind of culture in the real world, and then in the crypto space, it's hot potato, right? So when you're trying to deal with the crypto space and you're trying to teach them the power of savings and that savings actually works, it's a foreign concept. It's an absolute foreign concept. But if you go back before crypto and before credit cards, people used to save for stuff. That's how they would do it. They
Correct.
would save money. They had the cookie jar. They put money in the cookie jar. They saved money under their
Yeah,
mattress.
people are impatient.
Outright. We don't do that now. We live in a debt system now, and it's
People are
hard
impatient.
to
They
reintroduce
want to
that
buy.
concept of savings.
Yeah, what like the new guy I was referring to before, he kind of like did a video about like buying, crypto with a credit card, and I was trying to tell him, I'm like, bruh, this is literally like what happened in 2017, and so many people got wrecked. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if you don't know history, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. It's like, man, a lot of us have been down this road. We're trying to tell you what to do, and a lot of people are still not going to listen. They're still going to get wrecked. They're still going to tell people to sell their house and buy. Like, come on, like that was terrible advice. Like. It's unbelievable. And why would a guy do that, right? He was doing that because he was making a play. Like he thought like, oh, it's gone up this amount. If it goes up another 10x, look, I can buy a mansion. I could buy another house and then have all this money and I can quit my job. And it's like, they don't want to like be patient. Okay. Yeah. But HEX, like literally patience is part of the contract. Okay. Don't think that you're going to get in and get away from patience.
What I always tell people is the thing that I tell people is, look, HEX is a smart contract. You send money that you don't need right now to your future self. It's a savings account, just plain and simple. You do not put more in that you don't need right now. It's just money that you don't need right now. Send it to your future self. That's it. You should not mortgage your house. You should not take out loans. You should not over leverage. If you do, just put some money away. The power of savings is something people have to learn again. And they can't just do it by, treating it like it's a get rich quick scheme, or it's some kind of machine that they're going to dump money in and then just pull this lump sum out after a while. That's the lottery ticket mentality, right? That may onboard people. If you tell them about the riches they may make, that may onboard people. But you know what? They're not going to be here for the ride. They're not learning the right things. They're going to sell too soon. They're going to dump.
It causes the volatility.
And they're gonna end up buying back in later with a smaller bag because they fell for the hype, and or it's gonna dip and they're gonna panic and they're gonna sell and have a bad experience and never come back because they have the wrong frame of mind to enter. So it's part of educating people about saving.
Yeah, for sure. Security, understanding what it is, and that's definitely like if you were to ask me like who was the best onboarded people recently now in HEX, and I would tell you the Twitter space community. They're so aware, man. You'd be so surprised how aware, and that the questions are actually good questions. And like, we're just aware. We're not like, sometimes it's funny. Some people come in, they don't know what's happening for the last 80 days and the transformation of certain people and how they view crypto now. And like you said, Johnny, like it's like, it's not as easy as people think it is. But at the same time, if you call a spade, the unorthodox ways of doing things in crypto has worked tremendously in any way, shape, or form as you look at it.
But
so maybe we should go unorthodox.
In its wake.
I don't see any damage made by how we're doing it, because one, people are more aware, they're more secure, they have a better awareness about crypto, they are onboarding people better, they have better tools to get onboarded. And you know what? When it comes to like their questions and why they like Jim Rat and Sam, it's because that's the same questions. It's not like, how do I onboard a millionaire? You know what I mean? There's more poor people than there is millionaire. Unfortunately, yeah, you're right. There's more money, so it will move more. But if that's the goal, to move more, then yeah, you're right. Let's get billionaires. So then
But how
that's
many
not their
people?
job.
How many
You know,
people in the
people want to
real
know
world?
how.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
but I'm talking about teaching people good habits and saving.
Yeah, of course.
Not,
That's what we do
not
all the time. That's
yeah,
what we do all the
not
time.
not selling them on a lottery ticket. You know.
No, we never do that. We never do that. We actually we never talk about price. We talk about opportunity,
That
how to
price
place
don't
yourself.
matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just the way it is. The price doesn't matter. We we don't even look at the fucking charts. Sometimes it's like, oh, how much is it? Oh, let's go, and then it takes the time for the loading of the thing to turn up, and,
Well,
and then it's like, oh, it's at
it
this price.
matters, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter today, right? Like,
Right.
if you're staking,
It
if
doesn't
you're
matter
staked,
for the
it doesn't
onboarding.
matter.
It
But
doesn't
but
matter for
does
the
'cause it's a
onboarding. That's
store
what I'm trying
value.
to say. And
Yeah.
we want your
Right.
we want your opinions because obviously people look up to you guys, right? And like sometimes it's like, you know, I think I talk too much because I'm in it all the time, right? So it's like if they ask for an advice, I just wanted to see what your advice was because I usually get always the questions.
DCA,
Well, what do I if
DCA
I
and stake and make a ladder,
of
you
course,
know, like,
of
and
course.
it depends. Like, so some people it's probably best for them to stake a lot, right? And you know, just depending on their life situations, like that's probably what they're going to primarily focus on. Some people they feel like they need to do stuff. So get your staking ladder out of the way, you know, have your essentially your 401k set up. And if you really need to, like, you know, liquidity farm, do the other stuff, you know, trade back and forth, feel like you're doing something. Some people, they need that, you know, that kind of like constant dopamine. Yeah, then they can play with a little bit, but make sure that your future is like set up, right? That you've DCA'd into, you know, got a good position in the coin, and you have a nice staking ladder. Look, staking ladders protect you from yourself. If you have a proper staking ladder, you're probably not wrecked. Like the only people that have been in HEX a long time that are wrecked or didn't have a proper staking ladder, and you can see them in the community. It's
Traders.
Yeah. So traders, yeah. Because
if
you're every month or every quarter, you're getting like stakes that are coming out, and you're getting that interest, and you have max level, you know, stakes that you keep, you know, you take the principal and you chuck it out, and then you take the interest, and you're good with that. Like if you're doing that and you've done that from the beginning, you're doing very well. Okay, and we're only 2.5 years old, so
You know,
you should do the recipe for winning.
We have a term for the people that got out early, right? It's HEX is the way it gave it. They're called hexless. They're hexless.
Mm-hmm.
They're hexless. So like, it's funny because it's like the funnest I have, Johnny, is for me. The funnest is when like Bitcoin maximalists come in. I just destroy them. It takes me 15 minutes. They're destroyed, and the community destroys them. And they're like, "Oh no, famous. Let's handle him, right?" And then we give them the chance. So it's like not only are we onboarding them, but we're teaching them how to rebuttal too, because it's not just like we're the best.
Well,
it's more like how do you rebuttal?
You're talking about
you'd be very.
You're talking about your onboarding in.
They don't know what they hold. They don't
100%.
know. They
100%.
bought a thing, and then they try to justify that thing without actually having any knowledge. I did a post today where I put up the what's his name, Scuttle from Little Mermaid. And he goes, "It's a dingle hopper." Right? Because that's what they sound like when they're trying to describe Bitcoin. Why?
I've got 20.
Because
and you can tell when they got in because that's their mentality, right? There's certain people in Bitcoin that have a certain mentality. You're like, oh, okay, you are you came in, like Sailor, exactly. Well, no, Sailor's like
top there is.
Bitcoin is not immutable. The contract is the Bitcoin is
Sailor's
not
weird, man.
It's upgradable. Okay,
yeah.
You can't upgrade and have it immutable. You can't change the code if it's immutable. It's not immutable. It's not deflationary. It inflates.
You can't fix problems. You can't fix problems if it's immutable. That's the big problem, right?
Right. And it's inflationary. People don't understand that. They think because it's got a cap that happens 120 years from now, you will be dead before the cap is reached anyway. And then that creates a whole new set of problems because now you have a limited supply, and the miners are no longer getting block rewards. Why would they leave their computers run? How are they going to pay their power bills? This creates a whole new set of problems if they stay with proof of work that nobody's even considered yet because it's all 120 years out. Okay, so it's still inflationary. This cap thing is not a big deal because you know what has caps? You know what has inflation? Currency. You know what has caps? Collectibles. So what is Bitcoin actually? It's a high-end collectible.
Ooh, collectible market's terrible right now.
And it is a collectible. It is like a Rolex. It is something to brag about overpaying for. That's what it is. And
Most
there
most
is a
Bitcoiners
market.
don't even
I'm
understand
loving
Bitcoin.
I'm loving the collectors right now, man. I'm going through my old ass hockey cards. I'm like finding so much shit. I'm like, perfect. Let's see how much I can get from eBay for this pack.
But there is a market. There is a
Organizing
market,
all
and there
kinds of
always
stuff.
will be a market for people that are willing to overpay for things. Okay.
I'm like, yeah, 100%.
It is. So, and
I'm
there's nothing wrong with that, but acknowledge it for what it is, and don't try to make it something that it's not. It's not unconfiscatable. Okay. The government confiscates and sells it at auction all the damn time. Where do you think Mike Novogratz gets all his? Hello? It also has physical points of failure. The mining equipment is the physical point of failure. It could be EMP'd or it could be bulldozed. Okay? These are centralized locations that control the network that can be shut down. It's not like a node that somebody's got in the garage, setting somewhere all over the place now. No, they are now very centralized in locations for where the mining and the hash rate is done. And that is centralized. That is not decentralized. That is controlled by a very few people. And people cannot work on, they can't function in this economy because they're not in control. It doesn't pay holders, it pays the miners. The miners are specialized individuals. It's not, you're a holder, you're not rewarded, right? So I like to do this. Imagine if Bitcoin decided that it was going to start rewarding its holders, and imagine that all of the new Bitcoin was distributed to the holders. Imagine if you no longer had to have mining equipment to get Bitcoin. Oh wait, Bitcoin's not going to do
like
that. Hex does. Exactly.
No, they're gonna need big. They're thinking any bigger things because the next guy's
They
gonna have a
couldn't
bigger
even talk to
computer.
each other.
They can't even talk to each other. No.
Yeah.
The community has been reduced to a couple guys sitting on the stage by themselves, laughing at each other's jokes. That is what the community is. They have no technology. They have
And
no
all those
understanding
guys
of
only
blockchain.
own one Bitcoin, you know. Those
they
aren't
own
the
one
people
Bitcoin.
you should listen to.
And most Bitcoiners that I've talked to, if they're not OG Bitcoiners, then they're super easy to onboard because they don't even understand Bitcoin. But see, the thing with Bitcoin and why we can like talk people out of Bitcoin is because we were in Bitcoin. We've been in Bitcoin. We've held more Bitcoin. We've made more money in Bitcoin than they'll ever make, and that's just the way it is because we've been here a long time. So it's like, most people that are in Ethereum were Bitcoiners first. So like when Bitcoiners trying to argue against Ethereans, they get wrecked. And it's the same thing. Like it's like a progression, right? Like this space keeps improving, and that's
Almost like
the people who improvise. Yeah, it's innovation. Yes,
That's
exactly.
what I don't understand though, Wendy's. Why
people,
can't they embrace that?
Because
I think a lot of people.
No, because they tried
look,
to wreck it.
no,
Because
a
back
lot
in
of
the day,
people
they tried to wreck ETH, right? Back in the day, Bitcoins were like, you know what, we're gonna buy it and then we're gonna dump on their ass. And then they realized, like, oh fuck, I made all kinds of money.
This is why.
Shit.
Look, the OGs,
they were like,
the OGs, the people that hold hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin, they're talking their bags, right? A small Bitcoiner, like I've gone to coffee shops and seen a guy with a Bitcoin shirt on and made them a HEXICO, and they don't buy Bitcoin anymore. They buy HEX and they stick HEX, right? Why? Because I went up and have a conversation. I was like, oh, you like crypto? You're in Bitcoin? And then I'm telling him stuff he doesn't even know about Bitcoin. And then I'm explaining why HEX is better. And I'm showing him like my lifestyle. And he's like, oh.
That's why Richard wins these debates, because he's actually educated on the subject where these other people don't even know what it is that they're trying to sell. And that's why he said they've lost their narrative because they don't even know what it is that they hold. He's constantly, most of the people that are in Bitcoin that are loudest about it and they're maxis came in 2017. Okay? They don't know why.
These guys don't even want yield.
Yeah, because the other ones are just too rich. The other ones are just too rich. Before 2017, like I'll be honest with you, like I fucking wrecked, man. I regret everything I did before 2017.
There's a reason for that, okay? So like in 2017, a lot of false promises and everything else failed. So they ran to the safety of Bitcoin, and then they're saying, oh, this is safe. This is our safe haven. That was the only place they could go. That was like the only place they could go not to get wrecked after all this damage of all this altcoin stuff, right? And, so they now they feel they need to justify that, right? They can't say, I don't know, it works great. If you ask somebody, well, why'd you do that? Oh, well, you're obligated to give an answer. So they've been asked so much to why Bitcoin, they've created their own set of myths that make them feel better about their decisions, their explanations. You know, if you look in history and you look in the term of enlightenment, right? You would drop a coin and then people would say, God willed it to fall. That's why it happened. Then later we learned there was gravity. Okay.
Praise Jesus.
People make excuses for things that they don't understand.
You don't believe in gravity,
Fill in
do
the
you?
blanks because people don't
Just a
like
theory,
to
bro.
have answers when they're asked a question. So they will make up answers to fill in that void, and then it becomes their reality because they say it so much. It becomes their reality, and then truth. They build this reality bubble, and no truth can get in because that affects their reality, and that's where you have.
There's no logic. Yeah, there's no logic. They talk about how it's better than fiat, which it is.
It is.
But then
No one's debating
then
those.
everything else, yeah, then everything else is a shitcoin, right? And they don't actually take the time to understand. And if they start losing, or you start like dropping facts, they block you. You know, just the way it is.
And what
Or they
reality
delete the
does
video. They
technology
delete the
have?
evidence.
They
They burn
And
the
then
books, right? They
price
burn
don't
the
matter
books.
next day. Buy the dip. Buy the dip.
Who
By the way,
has
shout out to
who
Marco
has the
Belli
Commodore
telling me.
64 that they're streaming from right now? Anybody? Does
Oh,
anybody
well-
have a flip phone? Anybody have a
What
flip
the fuck is
phone?
a flip phone?
Oh, I do. I still
Just
I
kidding.
still have it. I'll be honest with you. I still use my razor sometimes, man. It's pretty cool, man.
It's
It's awesome. I still have
Like a
that.
drug dealer.
Hello, Moto, and it's like, oh, let's go,
hello,
man.
Moto. I have
Guys,
one of
shout
those.
out
I
to
use that because
Marco
in
Belli
Europe
here.
it's like
Everybody say hi.
10 euros just get an extra little line. So I use it. It's
Hi,
awesome.
Marco
man. I love
Belli.
it.
Marco
It
Belli,
makes
how's
it
it
What it
so
going?
do?
cool. I suggest everyone to go
You-
buy one if they
What up?
can.
How's
Go
it
on
going?
like eBay,
Razor,
buy a
let's go.
Motorola flip phone. You'll love it. I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Welcome, man.
It's more
Wanna jump
peaceful.
in here?
Chirp,
Jump
chirp.
in?
What's up, man?
That's the trap phone. Everyone's got to have a trap phone.
I'm telling you,
one
it's
of those
more
next
relaxing.
show.
When you're trying to relax, it's just like you just do the call with it. That's all I do.
It's a
Is just call.
burner.
Fuck the
We
text.
talk about.
No,
Some of you
man,
guys
no.
Yeah,
will
that's
never
a
know
burner.
what it was
We
like.
know
to
what you
have
do
a
for
I'll be
phone
honest
in
with
your
you, okay.
hand and have a
Okay.
leash on it, and you had to like
When-
go lock yourself in the closet to have a private phone conversation.
When you're in Europe, it's better to just get a portable hotspot.
So
Like
let's
you're
talk
just better
about-
off. So I get the phone line for peace and quiet, and then you get the hotspot for your your iPhone bullshit, and you can go anywhere with that, and it's like always pluggable, never dies. So anyone, you could give your internet to everyone. You just share it. It's pretty cool. I that's what I do. I'm like, fuck the phone line. It's so stupid because they make you do like 2-year contracts, and I'm not there for 2 years. So I'm like, why would I do that? I don't like engagements that I don't use. Like it's stupid. Like I'd rather be free. Anyways.
So, anyways,
just
back to this Bitcoin thing here with
Yeah,
adapting
nice.
or changing or opening your eyes. Do you guys think this is going to be something for years? And it's just these guys are all in on Bitcoin for years, no matter how successful their projects are,
Yes.
no matter how.
No, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, but I think that Nardo did, but I think that when the flipping happens, I think we're going to see. I think the landscape's going to change, but yeah, I think Bitcoin will probably like always be around, but I don't think it's going to be number one forever for sure.
Right. I don't think. I think Bitcoin will be there.
That
I'm
will
just
open
saying-
people's eyes, though. That will open people's
Here's-
eyes because every Bitcoin maxi has said that it'll never happen. So
Oh,
when
correct.
that
it's gonna
happens, they have to face the reality. And when that happens,
make
like when Ethereum becomes a better store of value, what does Bitcoin have? It's not peer-to-peer digital cash. Like it literally became the gold scarcity thing. That's a store of value. So if it loses on the one use case that it really has, then it's like a lot. Yes, there will still be like Max Kaiser that's going to be screaming Bitcoin forever. But like the average person, they're not going to fall for it anymore.
It'll
You
be
can
a
afford it.
novelty, a rich man's collectible. It will continue to be a rich man's collectible. It will be something to brag about being able to pay for, and it will continue to exist. There will be elites, and the group will get smaller and smaller. It'll be a private club of people that own Bitcoin that laugh at each other's jokes, and they will continue to push themselves towards extinction because they are not interested in inclusion. They're not interested in onboarding. The way they act is not interested in onboarding. Ethereum is going to go to the wayside the same sort of way because they are excluding people by jacking up their fees and not caring. They're just saying, well, high fees are the way it is, and if you want to be on our network, you're just going to have to pay the fees, and that's just how it is. You're paying more for that service, and there are going to be people that will be willing to pay for that service because they've got a lot of value on that network, and they will continue to use it. However, new people coming into this crypto space will not be able to justify those fees to the new people coming into the crypto space. They will not be able to justify the lag, in these networks and, the fees. So what I see happening in the future is, just like Amazon became 40% of all internet commerce, our little ecosystem could very well become 40% of all crypto commerce as a result of the new people.
Talk to me, girl. Talk to me.
The easy things, easier to onboard, easier fees to accept, and that's where I believe we're going to go. Richard could very well be the Bezos of, the crypto world. Whether you like Bezos or not, the fact is, Amazon is over 40% of all internet commerce, and I can see that our ecosystem could very well take 40%. And doesn't happen from converting the existing crypto space, because the crypto space follows.
Correct.
They copy off of each other's homework. They cut and paste everybody else's shit. Okay? They're not very creative. Richard has found a space where people are sitting on the bench and everybody's pissed off because he's outrunning them because he's the only one standing up. Okay?
Yeah, true.
This is the issue. It's not the fact that maybe they lack the capabilities, but they don't have the motivation, because what they've been doing so far has been unchallenged. Everybody just wants to copy off each other's homework and keep the game of selling stick figures instead of trying to paint a portrait. And Richard wants to paint a portrait. Once people realize that the portrait is there, their standards now get changed, and they're going to expect that portrait. And if these other companies don't step up, and that's why, competition is healthy for businesses, because if you have no reason, if you can sell stick figures, why would you ever learn to create a portrait? You're selling stick figures all day long. That takes up all your time. So this is where we're at, and in the space, and this is what's going to change it, because now the things that were acceptable are no longer going to be acceptable, and people outside the space can easily understand this, and the people inside the space will follow. So they're going to lag. They're going to go where the adoption is, because they're going to see all this activity happening. They're not going to know why. They're not going to know where it's coming from. But I mean, just look at us, guys. Look here at the HEX community. 80 plus streamers, 80 plus personalities. Did Bitcoin have that in their first 2 years?
No. You have it now.
Did Bitcoin have NASCARs? Did Bitcoin have taxi cabs? Did Bitcoin have 2 large conventions where, hundreds of people showed up in the first 2 years? No. Okay. Did they have the internet in the level that we have the internet today, and the outreach and the ability to talk to people, communicate with them in their own living rooms? No. How many Bitcoin tattoos have you seen lately? How many Bitcoin birthday cakes have you seen lately? How much Bitcoin merchandise have you seen lately? How many stores have opened up as a result of HEX? What is the top selling merchandise on the market? Guys, we're at the beginning of something great.
Are you bullish or not?
I'm bullish. But again, you have to just kind of sit back and let these things happen, because we're going to get the hate. People
I
are
love
not
the hate. I love the hate because it feels like the hate's just getting old now, right? It's like, oh, yeah, I heard that before. And every other day, it's like, oh, yeah. And before, like maybe 6 months ago, we'd be.
It gets less and less over time.
Yeah, man. It's just like, yeah, okay. Like I just respond with yawns emojis now. When someone comes at me, if I comment something on whatever, and like, well, this guy's a scammer, it's like, oh, yeah.
It's no information or misinformation. They're not educated yet, but they will be. And again, just working outside, there are way more people outside of crypto than in crypto. I am not concerned with converting people with crypto, because eventually they're going to get their ass handed to them in the next bear market. And then they're going to be looking for the only thing that's standing, because that's how they got into Bitcoin to begin with, because they were looking for the only thing that was left that looked like it was safe. That's it. That's really what it comes down to. The reason we got the level of Bitcoin maximalism that we have is because the people that tried to compete sucked. They sucked. They didn't follow through on building any of the shit that they said they would. We didn't get any of that digital tracking technology bullshit. We didn't get WePower, and Power Ledger. They were going to package power. Good God, we've got all this narrative. XRP, what? It's 10 years old now? Isn't it like 10 years old? XRP?
Yeah, its all-time high was like, what, $6-7 5 years ago?
Bitches. When banks? When they gonna start using your shit? 10 years later? No, they're not. They do use your shit because you give them a discount and then they sell on your head. So when you sell somebody a product at a discount and they can sell it at retail, they sell on all the retailers' heads, and no wonder why nobody's happy in XRP, because they're getting their asses dumped on them all the time. So, you know, it's all this narrative bullshit. Nobody actually follows through and does what they say they're going to do. But you know what? Richard did. It's undeniable.
He does. He does.
What was the biggest pledge? Oh, Hex to do 10,000 X in 2.5 years. Ha! They would never do that. Well, guess what? That's the only other thing that he said that it would do, really. I mean, if you really think about it, what is there to prove at this point? It did everything that he said it would do. Everything that it said it would do, it happened. So where's the argument now? Where are the haters at? They're hiding like little bitches.
It's got to do a million.
Everything he said has pretty much come true. You know,
Yeah,
everything he said has pretty much come true, and he said the same thing about Pulse and PulseX, right?
Yeah.
But people will be in disbelief. It's going to be the same thing. I don't know about that. It doesn't make sense to me or whatever. You know, man. You know how many people I told about Hex on day one? Like they could have been ready for it. They didn't listen. You know how many of those people? They're all still working, man. They're all still working, and then they see me. It is what it is.
Even Richard said with the HEX price, they can still do incredible things, right?
No, of course. If it stays stagnant, what the fuck? 30%, 20%, even 10%, 15%. Like, come on, man.
That's
insane.
Like,
I said
people catch on.
It can drop 90. It can drop 98% and still be totally fine. Like, that's what people don't understand. You know, a lot of people say it's not possible. It's not possible. Like, it's definitely possible, and it could happen. And guess what? If it does happen, it's good for Hex in the long run. It means the next run up is going to be higher.
It's because they haven't used it yet. It's because they haven't seen it, or they haven't given it time if they did try it. You know, everybody wants a get rich quick scheme, and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to be rich in a month then. These guys in Hex, they got rich. Yeah, 2 years later. We did.
They don't see the longevity because they want to get rich, like you said.
Nobody does. That's the problem.
But when you make them see it, but the thing is that we really captivate very fast people that are in tune with what our mindset is, which is delayed gratification. We capture them very fast. A lot of people could say that. I know in the chat we get people like that, and it's so easy to onboard them. They're like, okay, where's the dotted line? Like, they're like, amazing. That's how I got it, because it was like the beauty about blockchain is that everything is visible, and when it's visible, you're just more reassured and more confident and more more comfortable to do more with your money. And that's what we're allowing people to do. And that's why I was asking you guys those questions. Honestly, I wasn't trying to argue or anything, because I'm totally on your guys' vibes. I was just
I wasn't arguing with you anyway.
No, I was just
trying to tell you, sometimes simplifying it's going to be better for you than trying to give people too much information, because
it's just
I've been in marketing.
I get that all the time, though. I get that all the time, guys. But there's one thing I keep on saying is that then why am I there? I might as well just enjoy my businesses and go take care of my stuff. Right now, I'm trying to do that. But like, the thing is that why am I here then? Because I don't like dumbing it down. Dumbing it down, then go for someone else. I don't want to do that.
They do go
because
to
they do 100%. But if you want to come to me, I don't dumb nothing down, and I make you ask more questions, because I'm there 24/7. Unfortunately, I'm not there. But shout out to Hexi, Jocelyn, Hex is the way, Crypto Cowboy, Hex Travels. They're all in the chat all the time. I'm right here. But when I'm there, I'm okay with any question, and that's why I asked you guys the question, because they all look up to you, and we want to know. We want you guys more inside the chat. We want your opinion. We want to ask certain questions. You'd be really impressed by how things have changed in the chat, because it's a nice place. People are we're so like positive, and it's like that's what I'm trying to bring onto this thing. And like, I'm doing better than one person a day, so I'm so happy. That's my goal right now.
Yeah, I think the Twitter Spaces is awesome, and I think more discussion's awesome. I think the more places like people can go to learn about Hex is it's a beautiful thing.
But the thing is, the big thing is, you got to understand, okay? Most people, like for instance, if they go to a restaurant and they have a bad experience, they don't say anything. They just don't go back. Okay, that's just how people are programmed, right? So you don't know. You only know the people that you're onboarding. You don't know the people that you shut off. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So when 100%. You say I will not dumb things down, you are missing a large opportunity of a larger group of people that don't understand, that
Yep.
feel like you're talking above their head, and you lose that. And you will never know that you lost those people because they won't say anything. They just
I mean, it depends. It's hard when you're talking to like a large group of people, right? Like if you're in a Twitter
Yeah.
space and there's like 50 people in there,
Mhm.
then yeah, maybe you want to like talk high level. We do it on streams a lot too, right? But
Mhm.
I think what Johnny's saying is like when you're having a one-to-one conversation with somebody and they're saying like, hey, why should I be in HEX or whatever, that's when you have to like tailor it to them, because they're asking you
Oh,
a
for
specific
sure. That's
question.
different. One to one is like, yo, you gotta
Yeah.
break it down, show them. But it's beautiful too, because the community, when I was doing it for other type of communities, we didn't have these tools given by such intelligent individuals. You have to go and recreate it, go on here, go do the longer process. And the beauty about HEX, I find, is that we have such good tools to explain to people. So the one-on-ones, it's wonderful, right? I just find that like with what's happening with this whole furu shit and like hexless people and hex, it's like I'd rather just look at it and say, okay, well, what is your question? Okay, cool. Did you know? But then it's like I'd rather you ask another question and say, okay, I'm good, thanks. I'll get down. Because
Yep.
it's like too many people are scared to come up and say, well, I have a question, and they're like, it might be dumb, but I'm sorry, but there's not to
But
me.
that's what
it's
happens
better-
when you talk over their heads, though. That's what I'm saying.
But
They
it's-
won't ask the questions. They just walk out the door, and that's
100%, but they need to be comfortable because there's
Right.
no emotion and there's no customer service. So if they don't get out of their shell and their bubble, then it's like, well, then just go on YouTube, man. I'm here. It's a free space. It's my shit. I'm doing it 24/7. I don't want nothing in return. All I want is for you to say, I like this space. If you don't, then how can I make it better for you? And that's what I always thrive to do, and that's what we thrive to do as a community. I find, because
and what I'm
the
saying
Hexikids
is
are amazing.
you'll find yourself preaching to the choir, and you're going to find yourself preaching to only the people that already understand, and not the new people that are feeling that their questions are dumb. That's what I'm saying is,
People get intimidated too.
yeah, they get intimidated, and the important thing to remember: look, people fear what they don't understand, and they attack what they fear. You know, people are very simple creatures. You know, you're thinking on your level. You have to understand that not everybody has your knowledge, your level of knowledge, and by dumbing it down, you're saying, well, I won't compromise. You will turn people away. But saying I will not compromise, I'm going to talk on my level. If they don't like it, well, now you're smarty pants.
Look
Now
at Tom
you're
Gillespie, man.
You give people a reason not
Yeah,
to.
but Tom Gillespie.
No, but I'm just saying, like, look at super nice guy. He's either he's trolling, which is probably a good
Oh, he's
chance.
definitely trolling.
He's gotta be now, right? But even if he wasn't, I've seen people in there that it takes 2 years and he still can't figure it out. Some people aren't like that. There's people. My wife's, my mother-in-law. When I ask her about her finances, she's like, "Oh, I'll just give it to the guy and hopefully I get a return." Right? Some people just won't do the research. And when I onboard people, I just walk through the basics. Right? I walk them through the truth engine, saying like, "Look, you agree to do this. You agree to do this. If you take this out early, if you serve 50%, you're going to get your principal back." I let them know the important stuff they need to know. I don't go into the share rate, but I do say, hey, today you can lock up, you can get a T-share for X amount, but be sure when this stake expires, that share rate's going to go up higher. It's going to cost you more to get in later on down the line.
The whole thing, Hexter, as I'm just saying, is what happens is, again, we start with we're almost, you almost get to the point where it's like exclusion, right?
Right.
You exclude because you want to talk at this level and you expect everybody to be at your level. You are now not creating adoption. You are excluding this whole group of people over here because that's part of the thing we're talking about, the Bitcoin maxis. Well, you don't understand Bitcoin. You don't understand the nodes. You don't understand proof of work. You don't understand this. You don't understand that. What? You don't understand T-shares? What? You don't understand how that works? You don't understand your payout per day per T-share? This shit.
You know the inflation rate?
Off,
What the hell, bro?
you know?
Yeah.
Even someone that's coming from like stocks to crypto, right?
Yeah.
Can you onboard them in one go? Like there's so much to learn, right? There's so much to learn. And I'm telling you, we've had millionaires that are like, just take the keys, and they don't want to do it. Some people, like, that's why robo advisors exist, right? Robo advisors exist because people don't want to do it. They just want to take it out. They just want it taken out of their bank account, and they want it invested, and they don't want to think about it, and they want to look at it years later. I mean, I literally, I was helping people when I was still a nurse, and I had one nurse that she was a nurse, and she was probably like 50 something years old. And she was like, "Will you take a look at my 401k? You know, because I don't know anything about it." And I went and looked, and it was literally all bonds. It was all bonds. She made no
Ooh.
money,
God.
no money for like decades of work. And she had maybe like, I don't know, $200,000. And she's like, "When am I going to be able to retire?" And I was basically like, "Never.
You're not.
Like at this rate, never. At the rate that you're saving and what you're doing, never." You know, but
And she's
that's
in a better
people
position
are,
than
man.
most people
It's
are in.
cold. Yeah, you got to tell them.
And she's in a better position than a lot of people, right? So like, yeah, it is completely variable, and you know, it's not a one size fits all thing. Look, people get turned off when Richard Heart speaks sometimes, right? Some percentage of people are not going to like the way he speaks. You know,
And he knows
does that
too,
mean
though.
that
He
they're
knows that.
yeah, and does that mean that they shouldn't be in HEX, or does that mean that HEX is not for them? No, it's just delivery, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's different. Like last week, I remember I tweeted it when I was going to a dinner with some people. I was showing a guy the stuff, and he just like halfway through, he's like, "Can I just literally send you money and do this for me?" And it's like,
All the
well,
time, man.
not really. It's like I'd rather you at least know what you're investing in first. If you don't need to know all the mechanics and everything, but at least have some idea of how it works and how crypto works in general. But yeah, like to Johnny's point, if you start going and their eyes are glazing over, they're just gonna forget it. It's like if you're learning something new for the first time and you had no idea, like your concentration span is not that long. You can only suck up or soak up so much before everything else is just noise. And then
We
it's
didn't
like,
get
oh, I'm
T-shares.
exhausted.
We didn't really understand the concepts of T-shares for the first 6 months, and we still bought HEX. You know?
Right.
Yeah, there was no calendar. There was no.
I didn't
tools,
either.
there was nothing.
Literally, we were figuring out the system as it works, trying things out and experimenting with it.
Everyone was just brainstorming. Everybody was just
Yeah.
coming on here and talking.
And we had the community. If this community wasn't formed, we wouldn't have been able to bounce the ideas off each other's heads and do just that and learn. But it was not, not everybody's streaming. There are a lot of HEX holders that don't even watch our streams. You know it because you see the price dump. If they were watching our streams, they wouldn't be dumping like that now, would they?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you look at our follower accounts, they are tiny.
Yeah, super tiny.
what do we got?
Super tiny in comparison to the total stakers and stuff.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
it's crazy.
even the best accounts, even the best Texican accounts, what? Texo's got like 20,000 followers.
20,
Dude,
yeah,
that's
24.
1/4 of all the stakers. So that is 75% of stakers might not even know who Hexo even is. People
Correct.
don't take that
Yep.
into consideration.
And some of the people that followed him like might not even be in HEX anymore. Maybe they
might
flooded
not even
out
be
or
in HEX
whatever. They're
anymore.
they're just still following him, right? Like, so it
And you
is
look-
crazy. So it can be way less. It can be way less.
And you look at Richard's following, he broke 200K. That's awesome.
Mhm.
There still isn't 200K stakers.
Mhm.
Okay. Also, when you look at his 200K following, there are 10 million Ethereum users. A lot of them probably don't even know who Richard is. I'm going to say
100%.
a majority of them have
100%.
never even heard his name mentioned. That's the crazy part. Okay.
I had forgotten about Richard Heart. It's just like he had went away from like. I remember, and it's just the gatekeeping was unreal. I'll be honest with you. I was looking at everything, researching everything. I never saw you guys until only sometimes on CoinMarketCap. I'd be like, "Oh, the fuck is this?"
Only when it
one of my
reset.
friends, and then the wrong person told me about it, because if it would have been someone else, I might have done more research. Because of that person's past, I was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna go into this because I have to think more productive
Right.
and more legal." So yeah, then that's what stopped me. It wasn't the coin itself. And then once I learned about it, I was like, "Holy shit, no fucking way, mother!"
And
And I was
people
like,
got to
"God damn
learn
it."
that even a broke clock is right twice a day. So, we've got people that have gotten into HEX that are not necessarily
100%.
right on a lot of stuff, but
You
maybe
get
they
lucky.
made this one right choice, right? So I always saw those, and I know which direction you're heading, and that's why I say even a broke clock can be right twice a day. So you can't let that discourage you because you see people that are known for other things and maybe they like HEX too. You can't let that discourage you, and that's how I defend that position in case you're ever having to defend that position.
Thank you. Oh, I mean, I'm good, man. I'm loving it. I love the good I do, the positivity I create, and what I thrive for, and how I'm positively. I don't know if that's the proper way of saying it, but how I'm positively affecting people and the improvement of those people and how they're affecting also. So like the domino effect, at one point it'll take care of itself, man. And like, you know, you could one day set sail into the abyss and like, you know, like a nice theme and again, you know, just do like Looney Tunes, you know.
I don't know. I
So
gave out
that's my goal.
200 hugs at the event. I think
That's
people
awesome.
were happy to see me. So that was kind
Who here's going to PulseCon?
Yeah, they
Are
love you,
going to
man. They
PulseCon?
love you guys. They love you guys.
Yeah, I
Everyone
just
in
bought
the
my
community
ticket
loves you guys,
yesterday.
man.
Nardo, you're going for sure?
Yeah.
What about you, Johnny? You going to PulseCon?
I am not, and it doesn't have anything to do with, you know, any of the weirdness, you know, that people may think. It just
God.
has to do with the fact that I'm allergic to spending money, and I really don't like travel. And you know, my stakes are staked out because I don't really want to be spending them, you know, and knowing that that's going to be more money later. So the year of chaos is going to be like 2025, so that's why I kind of encourage everybody. The year
You have to document
awesome.
that. The year of chaos.
I can't wait for that
I
one.
will be out. I will be out and
Hilarious.
about. I will be out and about. You know,
Uh.
probably 2025 at the conventions and such. But I'm gonna take it easy, guys. I mean, majority of my gigs. I mean, I go to conventions and I talk to thousands of people. I mean, Hex convention was like a bitty convention in comparison to, you know, some of the shows and stuff I do. So
And people want to get photos with you too, I'd imagine, when you're there.
I got a lot of photos and a lot of hugs. We only caught like seriously, we only caught like a very small percentage of the hugs and handshakes, you know, from that event. So but
I can
anyway.
just say when I was down there was people like whispering, "Yo, I'm trying to get a picture with Johnny. You get a picture with
Oh
Johnny
man,
yet?"
we didn't get a picture, did we, Tap? Because I saw you were down there.
I was down there. I didn't get a picture. I wasn't worried about all that. I was just more happy to meet y'all.
Well, I didn't. Did you get to meet me? Because I mean, I met like a lot of people.
We met at the penthouse party. I'm not sure if you remember, but we did have a nice.
Oh, look at the smile. He's like, oh shit. He's like, oh no. he's like
at the penthouse party.
What party?
Penthouse
like, which
party.
party?
Freddy's penthouse party. I do not remember. I lost about 5 hours there. Totally.
jeez.
I lost about
Okay.
5 hours. I'm sure there's going to be like some blackmail. Send me Hex, or I'm going to put this on this. I've been waiting for those threads to come.
Hey,
Anytime
bad publicity
now.
is always good publicity, man.
But Naga's party, I drank 2 Coca-Colas. That's all I
That's
had at
right.
Naga's party. So
Yeah.
the average crypto influencer running around there being silly.
That was hilarious.
all me. I was stone cold sober. That was totally me.
Market Valley, what about you, buddy? You going to the PulseCon?
I'm gonna say that was
No,
a
I'm
great karaoke, Johnny.
That was a terrible karaoke.
Kind of like Johnny. I don't like traveling too much.
Yeah, I hear you.
I like staying close to home.
Oh yeah, me too. Tennies, you going down?
Possibly. I'm unsure right now. But we will have a Hex merch booth out there, so
Oh yeah.
some of
Shout
us
out
will
to
be out
Hex
there.
merch.
I'm not 100. Yeah, but
This
I'm not
segment-
100% sure if I'll be there or not.
Oh yeah. Who you gonna do?
This segment may or may not be brought to you by HEXmerch.com, your one-stop shop for all your Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX
we
gear.
we are sponsor. We're starting a thing where we're going to sponsor, like, you know, influencers and stuff like that. So you know, hit us up and you know, get you some merch. And we'll get you a code, and yeah.
Can I get a refund?
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. I love it.
We're actually, well, we did have some problems with some suppliers that were like, you know, we were trying to get, like, you know, the lowest cost for everybody, but some of the shirts were like not holding up well. So we're actually currently changing a lot of the shirts over to higher quality ones and stuff. So yeah, the quality should be going way up on some of the stuff.
Well, I just got a
The
message.
sweaters
from the
are
old
really
lady,
nice,
boys.
man.
I have to shut her down. Nardo,
I didn't do it.
Johnny, Market Valley, Tendies, thank you boys so much for coming on here. It's a pleasure meeting you guys. I'd love to do it again next week if you're around. If you want.
Yeah, if I can, yeah, that'd be great.
Let's do a burnout.
Oh,
Okay, I gotta bounce. I gotta go take the dogs and shit out. But I had such a good time tonight talking to you guys. What a pleasure. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you on the Twitters. And go vote
Night
for me
off.
for this what was it? What was the contest? Play the video. Yeah, play the
All
thing.
right, let's play the video.
There's
I'm
a
still
cop.
trying to absorb that video. I'm still trying to grasp it a little bit. I need a little bit more information on where this creative idea came
It's a
from.
knee slapper, Johnny.
Are you tired of getting fucked by your lame interest rates? Are you tired of getting fucked on gas fees? Are you tired of getting fucked by centralized exchanges?
The first part makes sense.
Well, look
This
no
is the
further,
part
you
where it
record
becomes
left
very
sons of
strange.
bitches. PulseChain's the place for you. I had to change something up, man.
Certificate of deposit. And better yet, it's a smart contract that plays trustless yield. No fucking.
I don't
middleman.
understand.
You didn't even drink anything, did you?
Ah,
Yeah, I
all
did. I did.
sex.
Oh, okay.
Hot shit, fuck. That thing's gonna explode. Game theory, sweeter than stolen honey. It's also decentralized, so no pieces of shit can come in and freeze your greenbacks. And underneath it all, you got the PulseChain. Smooth, cheap, fast consensus network. Cleaner than Bitcoin or NEET too. So the hippies should love it. Not to mention your free airdrop of all your ERC20s and NFTs copied over. NFT, what's that mean again?
Best part.
Non-fungible token. No. I'll tell you what NFT means. It means nah, fuck that. Fix the money, fix the world, everybody. We'll see y'all on PulseChain.
Mighty
I
fine.
don't understand what's up with that southern accent and the beard, y'all.
I had to do something.
If you were doing the southern accent of here, you should have talked about yield farming, and you should have said, "It ain't much, but it's honest work."
And I get dirty. Well, I get dirty, I get that yield. Well, I can make another one. I don't give a shit. I'll do more. Anyway, thanks again, boys. What a pleasure talking to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later, I guess.
Adios.
Later.
All right,
Boys.
Morgan.
Bye.
Oh, we're dropping everybody. So what's up, guys?
Chilling,
I still
man.
got a little bit of time. You got anything else you want to drop in? Anything else you want to drop in for these people?
I mean, I just want to give a
real
shout out
quick.
to the Twitter Spaces. It's the easiest way to onboard someone. I feel like if they have any questions, you should send them there.
And best
Yeah,
place
they're
to
up
ask your
24/7.
questions.
So
Best place to ask all your questions, man. Simple questions, difficult questions, technical questions, new pleb questions. Come with all your questions on the HEX Spaces, because of course we got Famous here, ready to drop off whatever knowledge you need, and we got plenty of other Hexicans who's able to answer your questions. Keep playing around on the test net, y'all. Get ready for the main thing. Make your mistakes now. Internet money is now on the test net, so we get to play around with that.
oh, I do.
I
have
got to
this.
be.
Yeah.
Yep,
Did you try it out?
That's awesome.
I did. I pulled up a post on Twitter. I actually was the first person to liquidity farm that particular token on the test net. It gave me a whole notification saying I'm the first one to do it. So it was a little cool moment for me.
Okay.
Yo, guys, let me just answer a couple questions because I've been like double streaming it, multi-streaming it. Shout out to you. Shout out to the channel. Worst damn crypto show ever. Tic Tac Crypto asked, what do you guys think of Maxi? I kind of like it. At the end of the day, you know, it's hard to say what to do. I really like the concept. Unfortunately, it's only one. I think it's a good opportunity for people to maximize their return if they're trying to delay the gratification. You should always do your own research, verify the contract. I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. We hope that it's wonderful. Shouts out to everyone that was watching. I'm sorry I wasn't, being answering your questions, but it was because we're restreaming the stream, so that's an awesome feature from Restream. Shout out to them. But yeah, any downside for noobs?
Not knowing what you're doing.
Listen, the
not knowing what
downside
you're
is
doing.
exactly, but that's in everything. The downside is security. Is it going to be there in 15 years? Right?
Mhm.
Is they say it is. I can't speak for them. I definitely we definitely talk about it every day. We talk about the possibilities, about what it could do, what it cannot do. We speak to the team members all the time. Gold Key, shouts out to him. So if ever you have any questions, Tic Tac Crypto, go ahead and check it out. Hex to Learn on Twitter or hexlearn.com. And you could always chime in into the Twitter spaces and we could always answer your questions. But yeah, man, that's how I hope I answered your question.
Now, with me, with Maxi, I haven't looked too much into it. I haven't had the time to. But for what I've seen, they're trying to be as transparent as possible. They actually are answering regular people questions when people go on there. And also, I just see it as another opportunity for Hexicans to make another possible stream of income if it does work properly. So I think take advantage of whatever airdrops or opportunities we get as Hexicans. But again, do your research. You don't need a FOMO in. We still got Hex. We still got T-shares. That should be your number one objective. Was there any other questions you got, Famous?
No, on the channel. Great times to be new to channel watching. Yeah, of course, man. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We're gonna do much more streams. We're gonna check this out. I didn't even know I could restream like that, but I checked out the option. Thanks for everyone tuning in. Go ahead and follow the worst damn crypto show ever. Check them out. You guys have a Twitter handle?
We do. We got Twitter.
Yeah, it's worst damn crypto.
Let's do that, guys. Go check that out. Don't forget to get your copies, get that stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to always chime in. We're always free, 24/7 spaces, guys. So enjoy it. And shouts out to Nardo. Shouts out to John Chaos. Shouts out to Wendy's for Tendies for coming on. Shouts out to Morgan, Dan, and Tap. Thanks, guys, honestly, for having me and letting me speak whatever I have to do with my craziness. But yeah, I ain't never dumbing down for no one, man. You want me, you want my shit, it's complicated. That's some people will see it one day, man. But hey, man, at the end of the day, my goal is one person per day. So take it one step at a time. I'm just living life, guys, and I'm loving it. And I'm just hoping, man, in 2 weeks, man, I get my fucking passport, guys, and then we're gonna have all kinds of vlogging to do this summer. Let's go, man. I'm just hoping
to Europe.
Yeah, well, I hope I could just stay there because I could technically leave in because the bad part is no one understands. Only Canadians understand this, and Morgan would tell you is like if I was gone for 3 months, I have to come back for 180 days. So I can't leave. I go to the States and waste my money and go fucking Miami and just waste it. But why would I do that? I have to go back no matter what. So might as well delay my gratification for the beautiful beaches in Europe. So shouts out to Europe. Yeah, I just love it there, man. It's home, technically. So can't wait to get some sun, man. I'm too pale. I haven't left my house.
You do look pale. Here's some stuff that made me laugh this week.
100%. Yo, just waiting for PulseX to drop. I can't wait.
This one, the new chain was this one cracked me up when they had Hex Tangent.
Yeah, man, he's awesome, man. Shouts out to Tangent, man.
Man, shout out to Tangent.
You guys see this one? Huddle Dog waiting for PulseChain.
I did not. That's funny.
And
oh my god, that's him.
One. Yeah, that's him. When
I didn't even recognize him. That's crazy.
This one was pretty funny. I have an army. We have whales only.
That was a good one.
And shout out to Crypto Vince for saving some kid's thumb.
Oh yeah, shout out to that. They got that figured out like within a half hour, not even.
That's
awesome. Time. Yeah. Shout out.
I was Hexicans doing good things for people. It always happens. I feel like once every few weeks there's some kind of story like that.
Human trafficker, testnet coin. Sorry, one more thing because that's a good question. I have a video if you go on the YouTube of Hex to Learn on the YouTube. Actually, you're on it right now. You're watching it. Sorry. So if you go check the videos, there's a testnet video that I show you how to bridge in, bridge out, going on the testnet faucets. So go check that out. And yeah, man, I miss you too, Hex Morgan.
You can also check out freepulse.io if you want to get like some. Yeah, for testnet. If you want to get a couple free pulse to play around with. So that's another option for you. for right now.
I was gonna ask you guys, what do you think the T-share rate will do on PulseChain? You think it's gonna
Like,
ratchet up like crazy? Because I just feel like a lot of people are gonna play this short stake game.
I
I was
think it'll
thinking
be
of
easier.
doing this.
It'll be
I was,
easier. It'll go up faster, in my opinion.
yeah, but like that's what I'm worried about, like it going up too fast. So I'm gonna. I mean, for me, for example, most of my copies, I think I'm just gonna do 555, and then bridge in my EHEX on the
Yeah.
PulseChain, and then do like short term. I was thinking of doing this. I haven't really done the math yet, but do like 30 to 60 day staking. Maybe I could make a couple $100 of HEX, and then use that to swap it for PulseChain as another DCA strategy to get a little more. And just keep 30 days restake, 30 days restake. Use the interest to get a little PulseChain, a little extra than I would with my fiat.
There's gonna
I
be
don't know.
so
What do you
many
think
plays,
about
man.
that?
Man, there's gonna be so many plays. It really depends on what your goal is, what you're comfortable doing, and what you have, right? Because at the end of the day, don't try getting something that you don't have when you're already in. There's so many game theories, right? It's just what are you content with, right? A lot of people always want more, 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 more. That's the one
Mhm.
thing about understanding is that what do you want in life, right? Some people just want the Lambo. Some people just want to be in peace. It's just the way it is. So, what's your opportunity cost? And I say that to everyone because everyone's different. It would be wonderful. Like, unfortunately, man, it is what it is. I like onboarding people that are not millionaires because the millionaires is like, it's boring. You got to be with them. You can't really onboard them through this, and not everyone has the chance, and I wouldn't be useful for them because they have their own ways to onboard millionaires. I don't go along good with millionaires because I'm just like I'm an old guy, right? I like to save my money and not spend it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really like that guy. Like there's no point. I still drive a Jetta, man. Why pay less gas? It's like my grandmother raised me, bro. I still go to McDonald's with coupons. Fuck that shit.
It's good
You know
though.
what I mean? No, it's just sometimes it's just I think they misunderstood. Like they said, it was a misunderstood because I was like completely wanting their opinion on like what should we do, with 20,000 because it's like it's the questions I'm getting. So it's like
I think what they were trying to like get into was like, what is this individual goal in life? That way they can answer their question for what should they do with 20,000. Like, I think it was hard for anyone to just give a blanket answer for, yo, I got 20,000 hex. What should I do? It's different if you're talking to a mom, if you're talking to a teenager, you're talking to a dude in his 20s, you're talking to someone in his 60s. Like, you might, give out a couple of different answers, or you might just ask what they want in life, and then both of y'all can figure out what they should do. I feel like that's what they was trying to get in. That's what the lane they was trying to.
100%. I understood.
Which I
It's just
understand, because I try to talk to some people who can only probably afford, 200, 300 hex, and my strategy for someone like that will be totally different between someone who can get 2 or 3,000 hex, because you can only work with what you got.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think for 20,000 hex, I would tell them to stake it at least 2 years minimum, and then if they want to be rich from 20,000 hex, they should do the 5, or at least like 5 years. I mean, I've
At
been
the
in
very
HEX for a
least,
year,
yeah.
man. Almost a year. In July, it's going to be a year, and we've just been sideways the whole time. I mean, we went up. Actually, not the whole time. We went up, but I ended up buying like most of my stuff, and later on in last year, so it's been sideways for months now. So if you do like 1 year, what are you gonna maybe if you get it at the wrong time, like I did, you could just maybe make a 2x. And with 20,000 hex, that's not life changing or anything.
Hey man, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? You got to play it is, and some people won't understand, right? Yeah, I'm in it for the long haul, guys. That's my life, right? So that's why I tell people I try to get to know them. That's why I like the spaces. I don't know. I just really feel like if you really want the best of me, this is how I can give you the best of me. So please, no one take it offense. I understand what Johnny's saying 100%. I'm just going with the unorthodox way of doing things because it's needed, man. You guys need to see if I'm going crazy or not because, everything we're doing is fucking nonsense. We're going for another 10,000 X. Come on, man. Like some people look at us like we're crazy. But
he's on
know
record saying that. But what
Yeah.
about this? Tic Tac Crypto has another question. If she has a bunch of people with over $1 million cash trying to find a good strategy for the PulseChain launch, what would you recommend? For me, I would tell them to DCA for 2 years, probably a little heavier in the beginning, and then a little, if there's a dip, like a 50% dip or any dip, just buy a little more on your DCA, right?
100%.
So if you got a mil, you'd split it up, maybe do 80% in the first, not maybe less, I don't know. Just depends. I think the earlier you put your money in, the better it will be in the long run, especially in like the first 3 months. But
$1 million's a lot of money,
really,
man. You definitely want a good position in HEX because not everyone's putting in that much money in one shot to get into HEX. And you definitely want to keep some of that to DCA because, like, if you're looking at it, yeah, okay, Ethereum got out at 15 cents, but like, do you really give a shit if you bought it at $1 or $2? Like, let's be honest, right? If you're putting that much money. So sometimes, you just got to chill, man. I love the Jetta. I saw the guy with the Until the Truth Breaks Smiles. Yeah, man. But honestly, I got the Jetta, man, because it's just nice, comfortable. Had heaters in the back seats for the girls. I was all worried. I got to drive like 45 minutes from downtown to my house. Can't drive crazy. Cops will stop you. So you know what? The Jetta, smooth sailing, bro. Clean, comfortable ride. Good system. No one sees nothing. No one knows nothing. No one assumes nothing. You're chilling, bro. Bring everyone back to the crib. Show them how you live. Yo, fuck that shit, bro. I used to make my friends drive my car sometimes. It was hilarious. It's like, yeah, I'm in the backseat just chilling. It's my car. Like, what do you mean, man? Come on, I'm over it. Yeah, trust me, I come from a city where people love their Mercedes and BMs, man. Like, I just never liked it. I just found them so annoying, especially BMs. Sorry, but I just don't like the way the interior is. I'd rather an SUV, and then SUVs need a lot of upkeep in my city, so because of the winter. So why spend so much money on a good car? It's not like I'm in Miami and I could buy a nice car and have a good car for all year long. Like you try and have a nice car through winter, you're gonna fucking cry. All these guys, man, thinking like it's winter is bad, man. Your car gets wrecked. So yeah, that's why I'm just like fuck it, 1.4T. Slap some winter tires with mags, no rims. Fuck it, go through the snow like that. Fuck that. You know how many bumps and fucking things I hit in winter, man? Like, oh, fuck, if I had rims, I would have dented so many rims. Sidewalks, people don't clean.
Driving, of course.
Yeah, bro, just put some mags on that motherfucker. How many potholes I hit in my city? I'm just like, thank God I have a mag. How many friends of mine broke their rims? Broke because of fucking pothole, guys. Like this big, look. Like this big pothole and like this deep. And just bump, bump. And you just hear that with their brand new fucking car. I'm like, haha.
Done.
Not with me, motherfucker. I would want a Jeep, but then why would you want a Jeep when it rains and snows? Like, come on. It's like you can never take off the hood. It's not Miami, So put money in
nobody's in Miami. Yeah. Only the lucky ones, man.
Kareem just moved to Miami.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he said on the Sticker Show yesterday. He made it official. He moved down there.
Good. I think he was in Boston before, freezing his ass off.
Yeah,
it's nice. It's nice. It's not bad down here, man. It's not bad at all. It's paradise. But
real quick, shout out to Kareem. Shout out to Kareem for getting that dude from the Fresh and Fit podcast. That literally is the hottest podcast down in Miami. So he got that dude to make a 555 a Quattro Cinco, and I believe even he got that dude on the leaderboard. You know, the Sticker Show, they do that leaderboard for the Quattro Cinco. So yeah, he got him put. Well, I don't want to say got him, but onboarded or whatever term we're using these days. Decent amount of money for Quattro Cinco. So shout out to Kareem. You know, he's always out there putting the work in.
Yeah, shout out to him. I mean, I love that Kwangag show they used to be on. And that was probably the best HEX show till they ruined it. But yeah, hopefully we can. What if we got that crew on here? That'd be nice. Wales and Kareem. They were really good together.
With time. With time, bro. Let the fire settle, man, and then with time it'll come back, man. They're intelligent people and they're awesome, and they'll come back together, man. Just let it go, man. You gotta let it be. Let bygones be bygones, and just chill and relax.
Well,
Guys,
I think Wales especially has more of a problem with Maddie than Kareem. I think he's cool with. I mean, I'm sure he's cool with all of them. He just doesn't want to stream with them. But yeah, that was a good show for sure.
Damage is done, man. And then you know what? There's Marco the HEXICO is doing his own stuff. That's awesome to check it out. I'm definitely gonna check that out. You know, Maddie's doing good too. Kareem's probably doing good too. Wales is doing awesome. You know, so you know everything is good. Everything like just think positive, man. Positivity is. It's gonna be like
give it another 10,000x. Everybody's gonna be happy.
Yo, 10 years is a long time, man.
And we are stuck with each other. So
oh man, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a fun time. It's like
did you guys see the stream?
Sorry, did anyone see
I didn't see it. I saw the one with I mean I think I saw actually a little piece, like 5 minutes of it, but I saw the one with Frosty. That was interesting. Apparently the guy's making moves in El Salvador, lobbied a bunch of
thanks,
Ecuador.
Crypto. Thanks, Tic Tac. Honestly, man, I would love to go on. I have no problem, man. I would love to, and I would go as this guy right here. I'd show up and it'd be like, "Hey, Joker, what's up?" But I would show up like this. Hold up, give me a second. I would show up now like this and just be like, "Oh, you can't even see it. Why can't you see it? Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, Joker?" You know. So, why can't you see it, man? For now, we're just gonna have the Bitcoin laser. That's come on. You know,
should do the whole stream like this. Pretend like you're a Bitcoin guy, and then 5 minutes in, be like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Sell your HEX, buy Bitcoin. Get wrecked. Give us a better
yield
price.
doesn't matter. Price doesn't matter.
All right. So Ethereum's been around 6 years, and it's outperformed it in 6 years, right? And then HEX and other coins outperform Bitcoin. Like, how many? Like, what do the people look at? They don't look at price charts. Or they're just like, I'm happy with the 5x in 5 years. I want to be safe. They feel like Bitcoin's the safest in their opinion. Like I don't really understand their thinking when they see like every other coin out.
Check out Matty Allen's channel, Quant Game schedule for tomorrow night, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the real Quant Gang. I think they have the new.
Isn't the theory, the multi-chain theory?
Yeah,
they got
I think. I mean, I'll check it out right now.
I mean, no, it's a good show with them two on because they be talking the game theory about Pulse and Pulse X and stuff. That's definitely good material. So if they having that tomorrow, definitely check them out.
No, definitely check it out. If it is what it is, it is what it is, guys. Clickbait always works. But yeah, man. The thumbnail has Wales and Kareem.
Oh shit. Okay.
Where do you see it? Where?
That's awesome, man. Good job, Bob.
Well, I heard Wales on the show. Someone asked, "Are you ever gonna do a stream with Maddie?" And he said, "Take that out your brain" or something like that. So,
no, maybe that's the reason why.
Oh, hey, Tuesday night.
Oh, man. But with people in Bitcoin who's like stuck in Bitcoin, when we look at the price chart and everything, I feel like what Johnny said a while ago, they dug their hole too deep. Yeah. And now they gotta stay in it. That's one thing. Another thing is like this cool factor they think they have. They think they cool for having Bitcoin, when in all reality, we really know what's going on. And my personal fear is that people are too perfect. You can't tell nobody anything. You can't tell nobody anything. People already know everything. They think they know everything. So we saw clearly on that Richard Heart debate that got taken down that he was trying to speak in their language to make them understand what they're trying to say. And they still don't want to listen to him. They still want to mention how he looks like Santa Claus or whatever they said. Like, it's just that we're at a point where
starving.
We can't talk to people who don't want to make money. We're all here to make money. If you ain't trying to make money, all right, we can't help it. We can't help you.
Well, it's not that you're gonna have a long ride, man. Because A lot of people just want to make money, but they want to do like I understand people want to do good, blah 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 blah, but you still want to make money because
You got you got to make the money to do good. You,
100%.
you need the money to do whatever you want to do, whatever
100%.
philosophy dream you have, whatever good Boy Scout dream you got in your head, sovereignty in the world. You're gonna need money to fund that event to get things moving properly. Like nothing else about that.
Then another thing, Tap 2s are gonna figure out that mic.
Yeah, I think
I'll figure that out. Next time,
COTG
just come in
wants to
earlier.
pay for it.
Yeah, shots out.
He
but
said
then
it's his volume, maybe.
100%.
Boo.
On your end, you gotta lower it, but let's see what she said. BTC holders don't have the staying power they hold on average 110 days. Damn, really? Where'd you find that stat? That's a nice stat. I like that.
Glass nodes. I'm guessing. Probably got that on glass nodes.
How was the week in the wagon down?
Sacrifice for the rack to sacrifice.
Shout out to the wagon down. I thought Hexter, his outfit was like wagon downish.
It was dope, man.
There he is.
That's very wagon down.
Shout out to More Token. Their sacrifice just ended a few hours ago, actually.
Yeah, I think Hex to Learn is restreaming at the same time. COTG, right? They can't see her comments, I guess, maybe because you're restreaming. COTG, Children of the Grave, was saying, where is she chatting from? I can't see her comments. I think she's on your restream, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I see it on my end, but
I can't. No, I think we see it because it's paired. Yeah, guys, we're doing like a restream because it allows through the service. So, because I use it also, so it's wonderful. So we're able to restream, like we're multi-streaming right now. So my channel and his channel. So yeah. I wanted to check it out, see if it worked. Sorry for stealing your viewers.
It's all good. I mean, we don't have any viewers. I think today's the highest day. We got 27 live viewers right now.
That's awesome.
I mean, I haven't even like done anything on the channel or tried to market it as much. I'm gonna start. But yeah, I just wanted to get better at it before. That's why I'm kind of reluctant to invite. Like, I wouldn't have never invited Johnny or 410Ds. Like these, I don't know. I'll just be
but they're
quiet.
doing it for you.
Yeah,
of course, man. You should get them because they'll come on. Like you'll definitely have the support from the community, man. Come on, that's what we all
of course, yeah. I just felt like I wanted to get more comfortable with the streaming before I try and start inviting the big boys. But it's been a few episodes
the big
now
boys
where I'm more comfortable.
Invited themselves, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they just started coming on our show like
them.
episode, what was it, 4? We had Marco on.
Yeah,
and
something
then
like
famous hopped on episode 3. So it's like big dudes just invited themselves in.
No, I got invited. He invited me on. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I think I missed number 2 because I was gonna come on number 2 and number 1, and it's just like I missed it, and I'm like, yo, I'll be there all the time for sure, man. Why not, man? I'm down. Right now, Keith, shout out to Keith. I think I rugged my own space, so it's good. It's good, man. Whatever, man. I love it, bro. Because it's just look what happens. They just create a new fucking space, man. Like I'm not God, bro. Like I don't want to keep people in the ass. Like sometimes it's like it's cool and everything, but like it's like, bitch, I am a know-it-all. I don't give a fuck. I definitely know more than half the people about other things. Maybe not about that, but I definitely know more than a lot of people. So why wouldn't I use that?
We got to do a better job on in the morning time.
I can live my life the way I want to, man. It's just the way I live it. If you don't like it, fuck you. Suck it. I don't give a shit. I don't owe no one nothing. The day you start giving me fucking donations, then I'll answer your questions the way you want to be here. But until then, suck it, bitch. No, I love it. But you know what? Shout out to Johnny because I love people that do tell me that because it is like, sometimes, Hexy says that to me. Hex is the way he says it. But it's like, how
I
do I
mean, there's
explain
still
this?
other people in the chat when you're onboarding
Newton
someone.
went
It's not
against
like you're.
all the most. Newton went against all the most important people in history, but he went against them not in the with the opportunity of demand like what's the word, by putting them down. It's just because there's someone who needs to question it. Now there's people that have questioned and failed, but it's wonderful because it proves the validity of it. But until I'm wrong, I'm gonna keep pushing people on with what I believe is right, and my ability to help one person a day by not dumbing it down is what I look for, and is why I'm there. So that's my purpose. Other person's purpose is different. And you know what? I shouldn't be coming here and telling you, oh, you should do this. No, it's not like that. That's not how you help someone financially for freedom. You tell them this, you should try this. This is how you do it. Oh, you don't understand to do it? Why don't you understand? Okay, cool. Now let me help you. At the bank, you got to do your KYC. You got to, if only people brought in the proper ways of doing finance into crypto, it would be very, very beneficial for it. But thing is that we'd rather, like Johnny said, people want the easy way out. So when you try and dumb it down for them, it supports that claim. When you put complexity in it, then they're like, oh shit, how can I get a 10,000x if it's so complex? You understand? And that's when they ask questions. And that's where someone like me comes in, because I can answer them. If I didn't know how to answer them, then yeah, dumb it down, because they'll understand.
Yeah.
But if they, you know what I mean? That's how I think about it. So
Yeah, but also
utilize
I
it
get
while
that.
you
I
can,
get
bro.
that.
Utilize it while you can, because after 50 fucking doors, bro, I'm sleeping every day. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So utilize it, bro, because we're gonna be a myth. We're all gonna be a myth at one point. Like we're gonna be, yeah.
I think I'll still be here, rich as fuck, trying to onboard people like an idiot.
I might be in the background after.
Nah,
a
man,
certain
you'll be
amount of
onboarding billionaires. That's how it works, man. You think?
Upgrade my equipment,
Yeah, man.
nice house. But
We're gonna be all good on TikTok, on YouTube, man. This shit's gonna blow up. If it doesn't, well then you know what? At least we were part of the biggest scam in crypto. Let's go.
nah, man,
At
there's
least
no
we
way.
could say we was all here for it, you know, like we was interacting with each other. We got to talk to people around the world and stuff. Like I really talk to people all around the world on a daily now. That's still wild to me. Forget this Hex crypto stuff. I'm interacting with so many different mindsets and so many different folks with so many different experiences in life that I'm just gaining knowledge off of the networking itself. My mic still messing up?
Yeah, now. I
Yeah.
don't know. It was good. It was good before.
How about
Mike
now?
is kinda-
Testing?
But famous, it's not so black and white like you're saying. Like when someone goes in the Twitter space, it's not like it's just you in there and it's just you onboarding him. I've been in there before when you're getting too technical with it and then someone interrupts and dumbs it down for them for a few minutes, So I
Yeah,
like
that's
that
because no
bad
one comes
cop,
up.
good cop.
But then it's like, okay, you want to dumb it down? How? But it's like, it's not like someone's coming up, putting their hand up and saying, "I got a question." What does that mean? So it's like,
Yeah, most people
it's like
don't
maybe
understand.
if I blow around the blowtorch, someone's gonna say, "Don't burn me, please."
Yeah.
No one's gonna, like. How do I know I'm damaging people? If, like, I'm assuming everyone knows what it's saying, right? Because what I'm saying is what everyone else is saying. K4K is not dumbing it down. I no
No,
shape or
he's not.
form. He's the awesome. And then, but yet people are like, yeah, you understand. And even him, he says, he's like, bro, half of my people don't understand shit that this that. So it's like, okay, so then why aren't you? I'm giving you a platform 24/7 where someone's there who I even say, who you can say, you two, Dan and Tap could say, yeah, man, they're awesome. Hex is the way. Mad Hatter, fucking, let me run down the list. Bullish, Bitfinex, John McCoy. There's fucking Free Bull, Collector. There's Ja Soleil. There's Jawa. There's I could fucking name this for Crypto King. There's so many people that come in that unfortunately don't do well. Crypto King comes on all the time, but you know what I mean. There's people that are very knowledgeable, and I don't even have to be there. It's not even me. I'm not like standing here saying like I'm the know-it-all. I'm not a know-it-all. I just know it all. That's it. Like, ask me a question. Dan, have I ever not answered a question?
No, you always answer for sure. Yeah.
Why? But do I say bullshit? Like,
No.
has someone ever come up and said in the chat, oh, fuck famous, you're a fucking asshole, you fucking told me this and it wasn't that. No, because you'll never hear that. Why? Because I don't dumb it down. Because
Yeah.
telling someone you're staking is not staking. The term staking was there for fucking. Anyways, I don't want to get into it. It was there way before. We were talking about EOS. We're talking about. Anyway, I don't want to get into it, but it's like staking is proven, and I don't like using it because now it's broken. It's like broken. It's like people are have a misunderstanding. It's like, okay, well, let's bring up this 1 hour conversation of someone saying no, it is staking, and me saying, well, let me explain my situation, and then people open their minds and they're like, oh fuck, this is alpha and a half. You know what I mean? So it's like it gives it more of a value. Plus, it's free. It's not like you're paying for it. If someone's paying me right to do something, then I do what they want. Oh, Bob, man, come on, man. I love you, bro. How do I bullshit?
Yeah.
That's bad, man.
He's joking.
Come on,
he's
when do I
joking.
bullshit? Come on, I hope so, because it's like, come on, man, in the spaces, but it's your style, personality. I respect it. Okay, I might over exaggerate certain things, yes, but that's because someone gotta look like someone's gotta be, But at the end of the day, man, it's like I will never steer someone wrong because it's like. I appreciate everyone and what they're doing for me because it's like, as everyone sees, sometimes I have people over. Most of the time I don't. I'm with you guys. I'm with everyone in the chat. It's like a family. We're all a family, And shouts out to Bob because when I'm looking into the past, Bob's been there since the beginning. So what I'm doing, I'm not in no way, shape, or form taking away what he's done or any OG Wendy's for attendees or even Johnny Chaos. Like I am no one there, but I am someone that is able to somehow, some way, shape, or form call out people and say, yo, bullshit cap, So I love it. Hey, you on board a fuck ton of more people than me, right? I don't know. In Hex, I don't think so, but in crypto, I don't know. I think so, man. I've helped so many people. I've helped a lot of people come in and say, yo, man, oh. You hear that double? Yeah, okay. You hear that too, Ron?
Is it me?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I'm just but I don't know if does the chat here does the chat here double? Because I hear double in my headphone. I hear me speaking.
I don't.
Oh, Dan's breaking. I don't hear Dan.
Oh shit, my bad. I was muted. It's you, Tap. The whole time I was muted, but it's you.
He's at a rainforest cafe. Now sound Tap because like he's in a rainforest cafe. Now you get 2 times famous, man. Wow, girls are almost loving it. No, I'm joking. But no, shouts out to Bob, man. He's in the gym rat chat. I don't know. He's probably in other chats too. But yeah, man. I love the community. I love what it does, and yeah, man. I just appreciate what we're going through. It's I might not be there a lot in the summer, but yeah, man, we're gonna thrive, guys.
Oh, we'll be here holding it down for you till you get back. No worries.
Well, I'll be there every night because I'll be there midnight. So every night at midnight, it should be good. Like during the day, it gives me time to go out, eat. I'll be in this. It's the Italian swagger. We like to talk shit and act like we know it all. You motherfucker. I guess whatever, man. I guess, but it's just like I like knowing it all. Whatever. I'm not gonna argue that point. People think I'm a know-it-all, so be it, man. Then you can laugh at me when I don't know it. But shouts out to everyone. What's up, Sinclair Crypto? Guys, hopefully we're gonna be doing this every day. I know Dan keeps the torch every Monday. Well, I'm gonna try and do it every day. We're gonna try and do it at 7 p.m. Give you daily updates, Hex daily stats, all that stuff. Hex.vision. We're gonna try and give you a recap of all the streamers. HEX2learn.com. If you have any suggestions, please go ahead and DM me on Crypto the Famous or X2learn or Hex All Day. Check out Hex All Day for the live spaces. We switched over to that. So like that we could share with the admins of the Twitter space, so like that they could recuperate the space. It's a hard way of doing it, guys. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your kind words. And When fucking mainnet, man. I can't fucking wait, man, just to make fucking money every day, man. You have no clue, bro. Like, I'm fed up because I got out of all my plays. Like, right now, it's just waiting, you know? It's like, I want to get back in my plays, man. You know, I want to.
He needs to trade, guys. He needs it.
No, fuck trading. I want to make fucking percent. I
The
love
yield,
percentage.
The
Percentages,
passive
man.
income. I
If
know.
you
it's
have
beautiful.
this, then you get this. You compound this, then you get this. Yeah, I love math, man. I love that shit. So when you're talking this, all you got to do is get this initially, and then the next step is this. When you have 5-6 years of doing farming, when you're doing staking for 5-6 years, you can't just go like, there's certain ways to look at it, right? It's like buying, it's like, okay, I always get to this. It's like buying your first ounce, right? It's like, what do? You got to chop it up, break it down, then get enough money to re-up. And then with the re-up, maybe buy a bit better or buy 2 of them. Next re-up, you save a bit of cash, get 2 re-ups, then you get 4 re-ups, you know, and then at some point you got to, like, you know, it's just the way it is.
Can y'all hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, you double it. I got to show you an app, bro. Are you on a PC or a Mac?
I'm on PC.
Okay, get this app, IV Cam.
Again,
Download it on the PC, IV Cam. Yeah, get it on the PC and on the app, and then you could connect your phone as a webcam, but also as a microphone. So if you have like AirPods or a headset, then you could like use your phone as a fucking mic. Yeah, well, I'll show you next time.
But yeah, should we call it a night?
We gotta
go
away. Hex all day.
I was gonna share my screen. You could do this every day when you have your. Hold on, let me mute that because I keep hearing myself.
Hello.
All right, so when you do the show every day at 7, you could go here and just show, you know, the money, how much Hex is, how much the t-shirt costs, what the t-shirt rate is, what the payout was. Probably the payout's the most important thing, right? Oh, we did a bunch of 6s this week. It's nice. Yeah, man, it's a good time to buy.
Thanks. Yeah, for sure, man. It is
a good time to buy. 11.
Bro, it's insane. It's the best time
cents.
to buy. It's the best time to buy. Best time to buy.
It's like it was made like this. Like, oh, let me just bring it low so everyone can get cheap Hex and then get the copy too. I mean, you're at this price. It's like 6 cents a Hex because you're getting the copy. It's wild. It's great.
Yep. It is, man.
But yeah, should I do the outro video? Should we even do outro videos anymore? What do you guys think?
Of course.
I hear a lot of people complaining.
I mean, I love that. I love
the intro.
What do you mean, the intro?
On the intro, because people want
that.
like streamers to just come in and talk right away. I mean, I've heard a bunch, even on Jim Rat's show, they were saying that his intro's too long. I don't know.
What?
Just something.
I love his intro, bro. It's dope, man.
Me
that
too.
Song
It's good. I like
every
it.
day,
Yeah.
6 days. And you know what? His intro made me download the song. So you know what? It helps another Hexican. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you guys. Come by next week. We should do the restream again. Famous.
Of course, man. Always, man. Appreciate
All
you
right,
guys.
peace.
Appreciate everyone in the chat. Take care, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Stay safe.
What are you, some sort of Hexican?